average around 10 to 11, and GG also at 11 with their Viper composition. And we have to see and pay attention to how these guys make such big games on these comps.
Well, Wolves probably going to be going head-to-head with T at the moment. Bida also waiting in the wings for that potential third party. All of these teams know that the Viper test and Wuchen composition has been picked the most because they got to see the rise of hero points in terms of how expensive those characters became to play. So that might actually filter out some of the early aggression we're used to seeing. No one wants to make the first move, Raven, because they're so worried about the third team that could come through when that fight properly picks on up. OUG also not going to be making a full play up against BBE currently, as everyone is just very much content to try and find some early loot. But Ivan, with that blue armor, with that blue pole sword, decides to make the first step, goes in for that hit of the F3, and OUG immediately having to just try and disengage and live through the recovery.
We have 5-1 Burst and BBE both surrounding OUG, finding that Kylan composition. Both these Viper teams looking to sabotage, to pick off these kills. And there's always a little bit of a handshake between these Viper teams that it doesn't make sense to grief each other because you're just burning each other's cooldown. So what does that leave? Terrorizing for these Cicada teams. We're going to see OUG try to fight off the double Viper team, eating 2 F3s already. They're doing a stellar job of surviving the aggression from these two teams. But Ivan just walking down OUG. OUG just cover and moving, trying to make their way out of here. Finally, a Tesla ult's going to be built up and following up onto the Temi of Shinyu. Shinyu's going to be fading off, try to get on the side of the cliff to try to limit some of this damage. It's not going to matter. The double charge is going to come out from Ivan, and BBE's going to score the first blood onto OUG. 5-2-1's going to pick off the other side of the King. And now 5-2-1 and BB are going to turn onto each other. Ult's going to be coming out from Pampy and Ivan. Who's going to get it first? Ivan does get the stun off first. Now Okame is going to get staggered and deleted. His team tries to peel from Wuchen, tries to get off, but BBE is going to find this first one. And now X1 is going to show up to the party, Moxie. A little bit late though.
Yeah, a little bit late, and unfortunately they haven't been able to find as much of a fight, so their rage generation is a little bit behind as well. Massive parry coming on through as BBE looking for that full-on lockdown. Tessa ult will come through and catch on to one of the players, and that is going to force their hand into burning that Wuchen teleport to pack on off. But unfortunately for them, they teleport directly on top of the skulls of Bauda, who have the Viper and Tessa ultimate ready and stacked. Ivan is about to go through 8 seconds of CC. There is absolutely nothing he can do as Bauda, with the perfect timing, taking full advantage of the opportunity that quite literally landed in their laps. They're going to have to fight against DRG, however, though, as we are going to see DRG now try to come through and put up that punishment onto Bauda for over-investing the ultimate, for stacking both the Tessa and the Viper composition ults at the same time. Wuchen teleport will still be in play, but DRG's WX98 on that Kylan does have the V2 to potentially chase them down. However, his head is turned, having to deal with another Viper Tessa. Wuchen composition coming on through, goes over the cliffside to break LOS so that he doesn't get hit by that 5-second stagger on the V1 confirmation. Still has the dashes left available to his name as well. He's going to be coming out of this ultimate incredibly low, but thankfully for him, the rest of his team were able to put enough pressure that the Wuchen teleport was forced before Bauda were able to take full advantage of that Tessa snap actually going out.
Wow, about it. They see you seeing them, and they come in with the third party, but this is the tough part for DRG. Which Viper team has their abilities? When you're looking at 4 teams pop their Viper ultimate, unfortunately for DRG, they choose the wrong team and end up getting Viper stunned out of it. Now Bauda cleaning up the remnants of DRG, and this is the tough part, by playing these slow scaling compositions. How can you survive the assassination attempts of so many F3 Vipers? That F3 provides so much leakage off spawn. It does so much AoE damage. It's super safe, and it's very hard to dodge. A lot of the times in trios, you're trying to post up, you're trying to defend by playing safe and holding focus, and it just blasts right through it. You also try to play very stacked to try to avoid getting picked off and surrounded. And when you play stacked, you play into Viper's hands. That F3 does so much crowd control, does so much damage. And like you were saying before, Moxie, The devastating 8-second stun. The V1 into the delayed Tesla ult is the bread and butter of the modern day composition. Before, you normally see Viper just trying to silence targets and pop in the V1. That's what we've always seen traditionally in the past. And then the evolution of V2 and AoE silence following up. But now, no need. We don't even need the initial silence now. We just get the Tesla ult and the follow-up because the V1 forces teams to run away. And right now, for the first time in a long time of Naraka, we don't really see dedicated Viper counters. We only really have Matari on Zai composition, but no Yushan running around to stop these Vipers. So they're really pushing the min-max by playing this F3 V1 style that we're seeing today.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing a lot of third-partying as well coming on through. The answer to your question of how do you survive 4 Vipers coming through with the F3 is you're just GG. Your reputation precedes you. You have a landing spot that no one except KLA apparently wanted to challenge, and they got an isolated 3 versus 3 fight, which netted them 3 kills without having to worry about being third-partied. X1, however, not getting that luxury. Blistering Edge is going to be attached to the pulse that the ZDI is showing off, and he is 100% going to be using that V1 to set up the kill onto Peak. However, Bowder coming through with a hit of the Viper V1 of their own, and they have much closer capitalization. They didn't need to swap to the Katniss to start mincing those health bars. They had the full weapon set up. Fan, Longsword, and Kitana all coming through and shredding, taking full advantage of the 5 seconds that that V1 allows them to get the kill confirmation. As now with the combo breaker force from the Hardy as well, they're going to be able to capitalize onto the hit of DRG's Kakashi, who was drawn in by the floating pile on Mercury River in the hopes of being able to pick up a little bit of loot upgrade, and unfortunately it led him directly to the maw of Bowder, who were more than happy to chew him up and spit him out. Now they're going to be chewing down X1 as well. Huge hit of that F3 connects directly onto XLY, and there is absolutely nothing you can do but just hope that you've given your teammates enough space to run away.
Wow. Bowda, X1, all these teams fighting off spawn, and we're seeing how great Bowda is at just hunting it down and guessing where you're going to respawn. No breaks for them. Wonderful play from the Wuchen of Yuran to be able to defend against the stagger. But first, we're going to go to ASE versus BBE. Tessal's going to be invested by Xiaowen. Cavalry Bloom on Jiangdong on that Viper. He's going to be able to secure the kill, but Wuchen Port's going to come out. Do they see the beacon? It's not that far. BBE just around the river, but they're going to immediately open up with the ultimate on the Viper. Whose Viper got it off first?
Ivan!
Ivan was able to get it first. They're going to force out the Wuchen Port, but it's right next to them. They're right next, but the F3 with Jiaodong is able to press all the pressure from BB off. The parry comes out, though, from BB. It's going back and forth. ASE, though, very, very healthy. BB is doing their best to try to survive this onslaught. Roy, he goes for the last-ditch effort for the parry, but it's not going to be enough. Wonderful positioning from ASE. They get the surround, they get the stagger, and they clean it up. Now going to our first realm of the Yang today. We're going to get OUG versus JDG. We didn't see them off spawn. We're going to be seeing them in Yang. Siphon versus Hadi. The King coming out 2-1-1 with the fan. Gets the uppercut combos. Looking to pressure on this Hadi. But Hadi, nice job. Coming down with the folk stack. He's going to get slammed to the ground. The King now trying to lock down this Hadi. Hadi with his cancel. It is vulnerable for a second. The King's going to pop his Cicada all looking for some pressure, but it's not going to go anywhere. The Kylan is going to be denying the King. The King staring at his target, though, looking for the zipping, trying to get the shove off for his teammates as he's getting just juggled over and over by the Kylan. The King has his eyes, though, looking for the zipping. Switches to the Kylan, though. V1's going to be invested, though. Zipping's healing the enemy team. JDG going really, really healthy. Nice parry from the Kylan, and now the King out of his ultimate now. Doesn't have his F1, out of resources. Now with the Hadi on top of him, does the King have it in him to bring his team through? He's getting focus fired right now. Parry's going to be coming out from Kiki on the zipping. The Sap doing a ton of damage. Night Tap 3 coming out from the Kurumi of SS, but it's not going to be enough. JDG is going to keep up the pressure on top of OUG. Just the last 2 players left. Temi trying to find his last-ditch stagger with his Wisp. Not able to get it. JDG is going to stay composed and able to survive the extreme pressure from OUG. Very impressive from JDG.
Crucially as well, I'm pretty sure their Vulpine Essence didn't pop in that fight, so they still have that Red Soul Jade attached to them. As we're going to be having a look at GG going head-to-head with TE. Both teams having won the subsequent realm of Yang. Kavloon going to be on the side of TE. LXM on this Viper is the one that they're looking to put pressure under, trying to force out that V1 tank ability to come through so they can start absolutely shutting this Viper down, as well as avoiding all of that pressure with the semi-ultimate. However, Wolves, who have that Yang depletion and are going to need to take a fight, and the soul blooms that it provides, coming in for that third-party cleanup, are going to be able to catch out both of those teams for the investment. That's already going to be a couple of soul blooms picked on up from Wolves, with no ultimate really invested except Night HQ setting that cube disengage ticket up for this team, as at the moment no one's even looking at them. They're right over the top of two teams going head to head with the cannon pressure, but that's already a Kurumi ultimate force before Wolves have even made their first engagement move. GG back off, having spotted that Wolves will come in for the third party. TE unfortunately not having that same prior thinking in terms of their positioning, now going to be caught out when Wolves goes for the hard commit. Kayle also looking to intrude into this fight with its Cicada ultimate to open things up. Is going to be putting pressure onto Wolves, forces Zedke into throwing in a lot of that zip sustainability, as we have so many teams in this surrounding area. This is going to be so tough for a lot of these teams with Yang depletion to actually keep the fight going, because of so many Viper tests from Wuchang compositions that are running around. That potential for the third party is so heavily increased as Jiang Dong comes through with one such play. The Viper V1 locking onto one of the low players from KLA, immediately going to be clearing QGG off of the board, as Wolves having to position themselves into the sideline, not wanting to make themselves the target. They are one of the outliers in terms of the Kylan, Hardy, and Zipping composition, so it's going to be very easy to pick out when they've thrown their ultimates through. However, JDG are in the thick of things right now with a Kylan ultimate going off, and Wolves have held on to those, Raven, so they should have the last laugh when the dust actually settles.
You know, Wolves, excellent job immediately coming to this Yang entrance. It doesn't surprise me that Wolves are on top of all these hunting passes. Now XEM finding the red buff teams and just picking them apart. Most teams will just be backing off at the idea of fighting the buff teams with their gold weapons, but not Wolves. You're seeing non-stop aggression coming out of them right out of the gate. XEM on the Kylan juggling ADG, but now after they got their Yang depletion cured, they're going to get out of there, immediately hard grapple out, not letting the third parties of OUG come in and being effective. This is one of the things going into Worlds that I've seen clean up this year. With Yang being out for this long, a lot of teams are very accustomed now to which teams are going in where and taking advantage of. We're seeing GG, like we were saying before, Viper inside Yang coming out, and I was surprised that GG actually has such a high average kill on their Viper composition. Normally we talk about GG's Siphon and being the most dominant it has been for the last few years, but now looking at what their score looks like as far as Viper, we're going to start talking as Viper as one of the goated Viper teams as well, willing to go into Realm of Yang and looking really, really well executed and well polished, not burning their cooldowns when multiple teams coming in and holding on to it, and still coming back for more even without their Vermilion's buff. That shows a lot of confidence coming out from GG, that they know their stuff when it comes to building up kills before the end game is about to hit.
Yeah, OUG's SS on the Kurumi just going into the zone with that Yang depletion. You could hear as well the Darkside coins being dropped before they made that rotation, so 100% OUG are going to try and get their hands on a Rebirth Charm and buy them back, just like Wolves have currently done with one of their players who got caught out mid-rotation with a bow shot coming from, I believe, one of the 5-2-1 players. As Forbidden Seal is active, who activated this? Not quite sure. However, it is going to be one of those teams who understand that there is a lot of third-party potential, and one way to keep the Viper teams away from intruding in your fights is to stop them from having the ability of opening up with that V1. This is really good for GG. They've got a lot of prior positioning. They're already going to be able to put themselves into the best possible spacing to try and cap out this Spirit Well. However, they are going to face pressure coming on through from AS XE, but LXM with those legendary fist blades as well as that musket pressure that he keeps swapping to, going to be holding down the space with the charged LMBs. They're going for the full committal of the blue, but wanting that last little hit of purple that is unparryable, as he has to back on off of the spacing, having thrown in that F3 instead is going to absorb his position and make sure that they don't give ASE any potential ground. However, we have to remember 180 seconds uncapped and the Spiritwell is going to despawn. LXM going incredibly low is forced into using that V1 so that he gets the damage reduction up to live through the full hit follow-up of that Tesla ultimate. LXM on an absolute sliver, but is able to cheat death with the Viper tank ability as we head into the realm of Yang. Coming on through, this is JDG going head-to-head with Wolves. It's going to be 2-tick on the Kylan that we follow as he keeps up the pressure onto the Zip, trying to force as much of the support sustainability as he possibly can so that they don't get to utilize that to help their Kylan stashes keep going forward when it starts channeling into that health funnel. As 2-tick is able to find the lockdown onto Zedke, now turns his attention onto the lower XEM, is very quick to clean that one up, and now it's just a 1 versus 3. It's just the Hardy that they have to deal with. 1 minute and 13 seconds. We're going to see the skill rush attempt coming on through as the Hardy tries to buy himself the time, but he is not going to be able to do anything under the full pressure of JDG's team. And this time around, they'll be able to come out on top of a realm of Yang.
JDG's gaining a lot of momentum here. Double gold armor going to them now, setting up pretty and making them probably one of the favorites of securing this round. Draco Storm coming out of the Rumble Gang is going to set them up nicely to take advantage of this next Yang depletion with the Viper compositions running around. We saw GG fighting that Spirit well earlier, Moxie, with the no old sun, and you see such phenomenal play coming out from him. LXM on the Viper. We're going to find ASC Moron. Looks like the remnants trying to live from their earlier skirmish. Half Charge Light is going to be coming out, but LXM not going to get absolutely soloed by Moron. He doesn't flinch. We just release into those. And now GG's going to have to come and res their fallen comrade, but Moran's going to make away with the gold fist blades. Bye-bye. He will have to be playing for res for his teammate. GG still in the commanding lead, securing this whole area for loot.
Oh, he got the Witch and TP. Moran was able to go for the full disengage and get the Wuchen teleport to try and pick up Xiao Wen, but unfortunately he gets spotted by GG, who was scouting the area. They knew that it was a Wuchen that hadn't gone down. He's going to get picked up by the Kavlim into the uppercut, and this is unfortunately just an attempt to prolong the inevitable. GG will be able to clean ASE off of the board. It's really unfortunate. ASE had picked up a rebuff charm and were trying to just get back on track, but GG, just as we were talking about, like, very smart in terms of that positioning with the macro of the Forbidden Seal to cover their backs of that potential third, fourth, and fifth party with all of the Viper Tesla Wuchan compositions vying for that Spirit Well. They're also rotating around the soul altars to see whether or not some of those teams that had Yang depletion or lost some of their players were trying to utilize that second realm of Yang opening to buy the spacing, understanding that the stronger teams would probably be in those portals fighting that for 3 versus 3 and would not be around to prevent the revives from coming through. So GG, instead of putting themselves into a Yang fight, track over to the soul altar and catch on to ASE, who are trying for that recovery. Is that Bowder hasn't been caught onto by Wolves. Wolves just revived and ran fully past this team, and now potentially TE are going to be doing the exact same. This is really dangerous, Raven, because that is a green signal flare to Bowder that these are two teams that both have Yang depletion and are going to be fighting, and Bowder with this Tesla Viper and Wuchen composition, they're going to be practically salivating to try and get in on that third party action.
Interesting spot from Bauda. I wonder if it was calculated or by chance they sat next to that res to see whether or not teams were resing there. Now, Wolves does use the catapult, ends up spacing out, so Bauda's not going to be able to take that fight. You on the Viper did not have ultimate, so I don't believe Bauda was interested in really ambushing a team unless it was absolutely necessary. They also had no grapples, so it's very hard to lock someone down if you don't have any grapples. GG. Transitioning into this end game, everyone's just setting up their inventories to make sure we got the best possible range Jades securing your position for these end games. And I actually thought, Moxie, that we were going to see a little bit thinner of a lobby. We actually still have 27 players alive. Now, we still have the two Yang depletion teams searching around for a cleanse. We'll have to see whether or not they're going to be able to find it. He desperately grappling around. Wash on the Takeda. 1 minute and 50 seconds. It's going to be tough for them, especially if your targets are Wu-Chen teams. That teleport, even with the nerf, is very, very hard to catch. And in general, when you're playing these compositions, a lot of the times you don't have all three players having grapple distance. And when you're playing Viper, for sure, all of you have grapple distance. And you're seeing how much of a difference having that extra distance makes. 521 is out of there. TE is desperately trying to catch up, but it looks like their cardio is just not good enough. 521 just absolutely sprinting away. Now X1 is on the edge of zone as well. Two teams are here right now, and fireworks are about to go off. Many teams are going to be seeing onto this fight. Akame with the Tesla ult is going to pop it onto Watch. Viper ult's gonna be invested immediately. Temi ult's gonna be invested. Takeda ult's gonna be invested. Everything's popped off the rip, and now the whole lobby is gonna be jumping in on this action. Multiple Viper stuns gonna be coming out. Watch tries to find out which is able to get to somebody's not able to. Kylan ult is gonna be coming through, and Kurumi ult is gonna try to allow them to tank some of this, but the Tesla ult's gonna come out. Another Viper ult's gonna come out. It's Bauda, it's you popping the ultimate. XEM desperately looking for this cleanse. 20 seconds left. Can he find a soul to cleanse it? Everyone's low inside the zone. You really, really low on the Viper, trying to make his way out of this. Hottie's hawking him right now, but the Wu-Chen port's going to get him out of there. 5 seconds left. XEM just trying to get a kill before his time runs out. He's not able to find it. He is going to fall, and JDG is going to pick up some of these kills. Oh no, GG shows up to the party. Half of the lobby showing up, and GG with an excellent timing. They're going to move up to 12 kills as they pick off the Yang depletion fights, rounding out.
OUG might be able to pick up this final player from Wolves as well. NIHQ interrupted before he can find that scale rush disengagement. Is going to be able to find one parry, and it is with the spit, so he does get the Nessus confirmation to cleave for the remaining players of OUG. But X1 see the commotion, throw the Tessa ultimate in from XLY, and are able to confirm the kill. GG now with a third party, able to come through with a very fast musket shot onto Jinyu, who was brought low because of that Nessus, as well as a final hit of damage from the Viper F3 coming on through from LXN, which is also going to be able to claim another player from OUG side. SS, thankfully for the team, still going to be alive on that. Kurumi does try and attach the tether onto one of these bodies to bring them back, but you can see JDG on the low ground going to be camping the player who has been brought back up immediately. Jinyu having to drop that tumult ultimate buys his Kurumi a little bit of space, but unfortunately for SS, he does not have that V2 armor circle to grant his team immediate access to that restoration. However, OUG are going to be pulling a little bit of a GG and trying to get as many revives off as they possibly can, taking advantage of the fact that when you have two players on a body, it doubles the revive speed, and that means that SS is going to live. The full zone rotation goes into the Mercury River so that he doesn't get spotted out, but we heard the musket shot. SS doesn't feel it's safe enough, goes for one heal off. GG going to be gatekeeping. Have they spotted the Kurumi in the water, or is SS actually going to be able to bypass the quality check? There is no way. No, the Moonbane!
No! Rest in peace, Kurumi. That's the first time I actually seen the Mercury River be an optimal play to make.
And then Moonbane was like, "No, you may have gotten past GG, but you don't get past me."
80% Moonbane comes up and says, Kurumi, you shall not pass go. You will not survive. It's very, very hard for solos and duos to survive in these end games. In modern Naraka, because everyone is so kill desperate, everyone has really, really good zone holding mechanics where you see GG there. They recognize looking in the kill feed that my team is being rezzed over and over, and they just wait and scout out for a player coming in. Now, SS, being one of the veterans of the league, finds a little sneaky line of sight, makes his way to the Mercury River, at 1 HP, able to pop that one heal off. And right as GG peeks around the corner, where did he go? Goes in the river. And now when you're in the river, the little bubbles do pop out. So you can technically see, but how shiny the Mercury River is, it's really weird to see. But we're going to see the Spirit Well battle go down. 18 people left alive. JDG, most stacked team in the lobby right now, on the hottie composition, setting up the cube and defending the line right now. Multiple Viper teams on the outside. And it looks like DRG is going to be contesting them. They don't want to just give this buffer free. They know how important it is to secure multiple more kills is if you take this, and they are going to force JDG just out of pure aggression out of there. JDG still not going to just fall back without a fight, but it looks like they don't want to risk. They know how stacked they are. They don't want to fully commit their GG makes them nervous with that Viper coming in, but still multiple teams playing for this Spirit World. We got the Bird's Cage high ground just lurking up top, ready. Multiple trees for the Viper drop down. Feel like going for this is going to be risky, but it looks like JDG is able to secure it. Now with the blue buff, what can JDG do? Searching for more kills. They are up to 9 kills right now. Can they pass 15, Moxie?
We'll have to wait and see, because GG is still waiting with their ultimate syntax, and we're gonna be seeing them come into play, because these Viper Tesuichan teams, they go for the grief. They wait for a team to pick up that buff, and then they come through with that CC lockdown to make sure that JDG have to whittle down a lot of that buff duration, having to recover from all of the rest of the lobby having been turned against them. DRG's WX98 incredibly low with the Kylan, does get hit into by LXM's Viper V1 and goes down before the Zip F can sustain him. Absolute tragedy coming through for the side of DRG, but GG now, because they played that hand with that Viper V1, because they stood the entire lobby against the players from DRG, are going to be turned on to LXM with that Cloud Weaver, buying spacing for his players. CJS also going to be making sure that they're trying to live as long as they possibly can with that Tesla ultimate having attached onto them. They will be able to dodge the Tethered Snap, however, with that Wuchen teleport, framing them through it and putting themselves right back up onto that high ground. But are also going to be waiting for that move. Yiran, I believe he has slow shot armor piercer, as we saw that little pop up a little bit ago reveal, and we are going to be seeing him utilize this blue musket to absolutely frenzy these players around him and find those kills. X1 ZDI is going to go down before that musket, and now Bowder with the ultimates, unfortunately not currently intact. They do have that Wuchen teleport. They're just trying to buy themselves the spacing so that no one turns on to them. JDG also going to be living as long as they possibly can. They're in a very good spot with their ultimates fully charged and ready to throw through. We talked about the fact that Kylan with that healing guard is so hard, so stalwart in stubbornness of just refusing to die with the 4 seconds of immortality to be able to win the heal up. They might not even need it, however, as a lot of these teams are cannibalizing a lot of their resources. However, a huge musket headshot is absolutely going to blitz down the health bar of one of those players, forcing a full reset from the high ground to the low ground, clearing the space for Bowder to move directly in without an ultimate being forced out from them, and going onto the low ground is going to paint a target for Bowder's U to come through with the drop down Viper V1. He's got the pulse on. He can't find the scale rush follow up, however, goes for the F3 guard to make sure that no one grapples up to contest Bowder's position. And this is Bowder forcing all of the ultimates from the teams around them while still sitting on a couple of resources for when we fully go through to heal off. GG not fully, or rather GG are fully out of the mix. Someone's picked up the Cloud Weaver and is sitting on the top spot, just making sure that they don't get challenged and contested for the space because of that legendary Soul Jade attached to the fist blades. It is actually going to be DRG's Don Queen who has that one currently equipped. As Raven, I think we're going to go all the way, especially if JDG are going to be able to vault back up into this Kylan VT. You can see him getting targeted down by absolutely all of these players to make sure that the Kylan is going to be the target that goes down.
Bowder has her work cut out to him, but JDG's exiting just to loot the gold weapons. It's too much for Bowder to deal with. The U is going to fall, but still 2 members left alive. Bowder's trying to secure this win, but off to the side. JDG was trying to pick up the last duos left. Action Sing with the hottie trying to swat out all the flying squirrels in the sky, knocking them into zone. Peak is going to fall to the zone. JDG, just too much momentum to stop right now, but still last heal off coming out. But it looks like Akashi has his health maxed right now, but nice job from the Kylan of JDG's Toot. He is going to be able to pop that immortality. He's looking for the last hits onto DRG, trying to secure it, but I think it's going to be a two-way tie. They're able to deny the placement points. Nice job from the team to try to secure that win. And this is the tough part. In this modern Naraka, Moxie, all these teams are playing so strongly for this first place. We get an epic ending for our game one. But the winner from kills alone, because of that placement deny, is going to be GV. Even though they went out a little bit earlier, it's not going to matter. Their absolute dominance in that early and middle game, and even onto
timing attack onto any team that drops over towards the entrance of Imperial, up over with Beast Pits, as Wolves going to be playing into City of Tang, leading up incredibly quickly to try and survive this first fight against X1. LYD gets that Kurumi Tether to start going a little bit more forward in terms of the positioning before it gets transferred over to the player who's actually starting to take damage. We can see a great scale rush currently being charged up. Looks like it was actually thrown on out. Unfortunately, it's not going to find the value that Wolves was looking for. ZK is going to get locked into the stone from XLY, and ZDI have, however, gone down because of Wolves able to pick up that very early purple pole sword that NiHQ currently has in his hands. LYD goes for the F3, and there is absolutely no way they actually did. Raven, his two teammates, salty revive on the solo to less than 20 meters behind him, because LYD has the Zai ultimate ready to go to start trying to turn the tables onto Wolves, but Wolves with a Hardy ultimate just disengaging Kite away. This is so risky for X1. That's the rebirths.
Oh, we're all in on spawn. There's nothing a little bit of salt in your diet, Moxie. The salty respawn can work when seasoned properly. Will this be the right hottie composition to run this against, though? Now, unfortunately for them, the Kylan ult's going to be coming out online soon. LYD now under a ton of pressure, but the Peel is going to be coming out. The Kurumi's F3 is going to be coming for LYD. LYD's not going to be backing out immediately. His two teammates doing a good job of using the uneven terrain of the rooftop to buy some time right now. Kurumi doing the work. ZDI punching in, taking up the space, but XLY is going to get parried by XEM. XEM's Kylan is going to be coming on. This is the danger zone for X1. This is the problem of salty respawning. You're behind on the cooldown rotation. Kurumi ult's going to be invested, but there's so much damage, so much juggling coming out from the Kylan ultimate. That blue weapon is putting in a little bit of work, but X1 is able to stabilize, and now XEM in a tough position right now. He was on the offense, now he has to be on the defense right now. His EDI on the Matari is going to follow up, find the first kill. 2v2 situation though. ZDI on the Matari looking for the jump parry, not going to get the double hold onto ZK. ZK with the pulse sword, able to pop the V1 for his team. Now 2v2, but the zipping ult is going down. XLY, one hold, two, looking for the 3. He is going to pick off NHQ. Now in a 2v1 situation, ZK in a tough spot. Will Wolves do the same thing and salty run back? LYD already on top of it. F3 going to be invested, and X1, the salty respawn's going to pay off. They are going to clutch up and send Wolves packing.
Oh, they're thinking about it. You can see NiHQ just like, do we do it? Do we not do it? As we are going to be having a look at Bowder versus BBE. Roy Hehe comes on through with that Takeda F1, so no one can throw a blue his way, otherwise over the shoulder. They're going to go. However, that is not a blue. That's an uppercut confirmed into a Matari ultimate follow-up that BBE are going to have to play around Fat Milk, preemptively dropping that Kurumi V2. However, Bowder have absolutely no interest in taking this fight. The Takeda ultimate is fully out in force right now as they're looking to lock down Bowder, who was not able to kite to the rest of his team. There's the recast coming on out as Roy Hehe gets that tether so that he can throw aggressively in with these blues, looking to set up the charged RMB of that pole sword as Roy Hehe now has to deal with the Zai ultimate. Temi ultimate is going to be invested to split Bowder off from finding the hit onto this Takeda, who didn't have any more Furin shields left to his name, nor did Fat Milk have the the ability to peel, given the fact that Teva had previously been snapped. Unfortunately, Yuran is going to go down on the side of Barda as BBE look to live long enough for this composition to go back into the neutral, where Sand Siphon excels. Dragon Slayers into Nessus, finally the opening that Roy He was waiting for, and they will be able to confirm the kill onto Barda's peak. Off of this now, it's just cleaning up onto Barda's U as the grapples come on through. Can they catch up to him? Roy He tries to go for the bow shot. My goodness, what a magnificent shot that would have been. But you on this Karumi might be able to get his way out. He's going to go for the teleport play with the Parasol to carry his momentum a little bit further forward. Can he run BBE into another team, or is he going to get locked down when he runs out of the grapples that he currently has access to?
With a sliver of health, you're seeing the struggles of not having that max grapple. Oh, bad milk. Just a short grapple, not able to secure it. The bell's going to be hit by ASC, but it looks like Yu is able to survive with that sliver of health, that umbrella. He stretches out those 8 grapples, and he lives to fight another day. Now, he did have a backup rest, so this was really just a moral victory for them to not give up the kill. To the north, KLA setting up for this first realm of Yang. It looks like they were able to get 1 kill off spawn. Now, having that purple armor on their Hadi. Now, we were talking about this before, Moxie, that Hadi will be nerfed in the future where he's not going to be able to use his cube and cancel it. So one of the strategies that we're seeing in this particular patch is Hadi uses that cube early in the fight and immediately cancels it so he can have 60% ult. Now, normally, as long as you don't just get shredded, use your combo break a little bit recklessly, and then not get a V1 heal from your zipping, you can easily build up that 40% rage. But now it's so prevalent and just brings so much durability that it has to be looked at. Now, technically, it's been this way forever on Hadi. It was utilized on Cannonball, but because Cannonball didn't really have a dedicated healer, we never saw the likes of just like 4 or 5 ultimates, because even though that Hadi ult comes online for that 4th time, a lot of the time, because of the oppressiveness of the Hadi ult, the zipping or the Kylan can bring up his ult for a 5th time. So you end up what we normally see in trios, going against 3 ults. We're going against 5 ultimates when it comes to that team. It's literally the ultimate team that's been made out of all this Naraka. I've never seen a team like it that was able to utilize that. Maybe at the likes of Faria, where you use the Faria mech on a different teammate, but nothing like this where your zipping is canceling her ultimate as well. We're getting like an ultimate cancel meta basically with this current patch. Now moving forward, will it continue? I mean, I feel like only a couple teams like Wolves, DRG, GG, KLA really maximize the potential of this composition. So I don't really see a change for the rest of the league moving forward. And as we're transitioning to this mid game, this is one of the slower parts of Holoroth is everyone is playing for that first Yang. It's so critical to get your momentum going, because almost every team is on a sustained comp right now. There's no rush down compositions. With a couple of Zais right here, everyone is banking everything on this first Yang and everything on this first Spirit World, to the point where ASC, they have their Moonbane ready and they're using it to secure their ticket into this first Yang.
Yeah, they've also had a visit to Salvation Podium, because that is legendary nunchucks in Zhao Wen's back pocket on the Temi. Whether or not he actually decides to use those in Realm of Yang, we'll have to wait and see. Whether or not they can get into Realm of Yang, we'll have to wait and see. Oh my goodness, so many of those teams try to get into that portal. It's also going to be a reveal of Tuna coming on through from the Temi, so he can start rebuilding back into that armor, as well as having that heal tick all the way through this fight. ASC not going to go for the air, instead going for the bow shot, putting pressure onto this Kylan incredibly early. The Takeda and the Kylan hyper carries, both going head to head, neither one wanting to use that ultimate before the other. Hardy utilizing that cube, going up into the sky. Is he going to cancel the ultimate early, or is he going to stick the ultimate? He's going to keep the ultimate still in play, as they now have to try and deal with this coming on through. Temmie is going to throw in his ultimate, making it harder for that Hardy to find the spacing that he's looking for. A lot of these players having to utilize the combo break ability on that cube to reposition out of the Temmie ultimate. Lockdown as the Fury Shells get invested, trying to lock the Kylan down to make sure he doesn't get to set the dash up and deprive Moran's value on this Karumi. Jiang Zheng not going to be able to find that dodge parry that he was looking for with the jump. Will be able to find the kill onto the Kylan. That's much more valuable. Locking now the last player into stone form on the pole sword, and that is going to be ASE walking away with the kill. They were up against the Kylan Hardy composition. They didn't have to worry about putting the nunchucks away in case it was a Takeda with the F1 looking to grab it for himself. And ASE artfully able to find those isolations, keep the pressure with the Takeda onto that Kylan from the very beginning to make sure that that V2 did not get to dismantle the composition and coordination that ASE had running for them.
Nice job from ASC, keeping up the pressure and focus firing perfectly. That's one of the strengths of playing that F1 Takeda. You're able to chain light attacks in safely where your opponent can't react with blue attacks, but they are going to be going against GG on their Xiphon composition. Matario is going to be invested. They do. Both these teams have the buff. Takeda is going to be pressured by the Matari. Jaedong going to pop the Takeda ult. The Karumi going in hot onto the Takeda. Rarely do you see the battle Karumi absolutely going for the Takeda. Jaedong is going to stabilize right now. 330 is going to be fighting back right now. He is going to have to pop that Karumi ult, tanking a ton of damage from ASC. F3 is going to be coming out, trying to make his way in, but LXM with the peel, with the damage.
It's KLA though.
But KLA waiting in soul form, looking for the opportunity, but they immediately get shredded on their way in. GG does not flinch. They immediately start focus attacking into them, and now KLA forced to pop their V1 on the Zipping, forced to pop their Kylon, forced to pop their Hadio. They popped everything to the moon. GG 330 is going for a ride, and there's a one-way stop to his death. 330 will fall, but Vermilion's buff is going to come out, and now X1. The whole party's here, Moxie. Everyone with Yang Depletion is looking for a piece.
I mean, everyone saw the Moonbane going out over towards Armory before the Realm of Yang started to come on through. They knew that teams would be in this area. Everyone with Yang Depletion forced to take a fight. I'm pretty sure you just got rolled over on those tracks, as we can see Jinyu trying to charge up the Scourge, has to utilize that Hardy cube to put himself up onto the height to start healing this armor back, as there are so many teams in play. No one wants to be that target that everyone turns on to. TE and BBE all now throwing their hats into the ring too. TE's Wash coming on through with a late Kylan V2 is going to be able to claim the life of GGCJS before he turns now on to BBE. Karumi Teva already comes into play for Ivan to be able to get that damage reduction and live a lot of the focus coming on through, but Fat Milk does manage to find the repair onto his weapon before TE's Wash can turn onto him, taking cover now in the sanctity of his Temmie's ultimate to live into a position where that Kylan cannot chase onto him with those dashes, lest he lose all of his stamina. T is turning onto the players of OUG once they're outside of it. KLA's QG now coming in with the Fist Blades and the LMB on it. Wash getting interrupted by the Takeda shoves as DRG now showing up into the mix with a 6th Hardy, the ultimate still in rotation for this team as they came in so late. Dongqing on this side trying to find the interruptions onto JG's players, forcing them outside of that Karumi ultimate so that DRG are able to find all of the sustain that they're looking for. However, Dongqing on grey armor is not in the greatest of positions, especially given the fact that he does no longer have that V2 to get that reset of the F3 recast if he has to disengage because of the pressure coming onto him. It looks now with all of the ultimates left that we might see a little bit of a lull in action for the teams that were purely coming here to third party and only look for kills. Unfortunately, the rest of the lobby who have Yang depletion going to have to keep the fights going, which is exactly what DRG are going to be banking on. KLACXE with the Skyline still has the ultimate. DRG looking for that engagement. They have 40 seconds left before they go out of this lobby, reduced to just the Matari, the only one who's been able to pick up the Soul Bloom. Huge F3 chase goes down onto OUG's the King, and they're going to be able to pick up the Soul Bloom, but it's not going to matter. It's JDG throw the Temi Wisp, manage to catch up the Zai, come in with that Flamer, and unfortunately there's absolutely nothing that DRG can do to peel.
Now, JDG with the Temi Wisp. DRG, they finally clear the Yang depletion, only to fall. Don Q doing the work with the F3, but it's not going to matter. Just the whole lobby has a meetup over here. And right before we went in the Realm of Yang, there was a Moonbane there. So a big tell for the lobby that for sure teams went into that Realm of Yang, and there's probably going to be action around that area. So you're seeing the whole lobby converge on this one spot. And this is what I was saying, Moxie. I don't remember teams being so ferocious at hunting before. Normally teams before this rule change would play a lot more defensive. Everyone would be a lot more spread out, but because everyone's worked on their mid game, their transitions from mid to late game, we're seeing a lot more teams go aggro. And even though they don't necessarily dive in, they are picking off pieces. They're breaking a drumstick of a kill here and there. We are going to get a real treat. We're going to see the GOAT GG coming in super stacked on their Xiphon composition, and they're going to go in against traditional Siphon. Let's see how the GOATs of Siphon pick apart the compositions they're known for. It looks like CGS on the Zai is going to be leading in, but we're going to go over to the Kurumi of ASC with the Kurumi Pulse Sword coming with the Focus Slide flank onto 330. 330 is going to go invis for a second. Temi also going to come out. They are going to bail out Matari backs out right now. The Swarm being utilized by Moran, looking for every min-max possible. Kurumi also going to be matched right now, going on to the Matari, I believe, looking for the focus slides. He is going to pop his F3 for his team. His team is fully healthy right now, but the Zai ult is going to be coming out. It looks like Temi is going to be getting focus fired right now, but both Takeda and Temi are really low. All three are really low, and now GG with the momentum has all three members stuck in the blender. They're just getting cooked up. LXM to the side has his solo fight going on, and GG is gonna clean up ASC.
Yeah, heading now over towards the BBE versus TE. Kyle and Ultimate on the board, coming in for Roy Hihi. Gonna be operating in with his Takeda Ultimate as well. Free Fury and Shoves still left to his name as they're trying to just keep up the spacing with this Kurumi Armor Circle, buying them a little bit more sustenance. Unfortunately, Roy Hihi is going to be chasing down that Kyle and goes out of the AoE Ultimate. Once it's abated, loses all of his health, and it turns now into a 1 versus 3. It's just Fat Milk with the fan able to find the uppercut confirm, but he has to turn onto the other players as we cut over and look at the open world. JDG managing to finish off one of the players from X1 before turning now onto the attempting to disengage ZDI with that Stormfight. We are going to see the Matari Ultimate also being invested as 2-tick with the charged RMB on those dual halberds is going to be able to track him down. You might be invisible, but you are not impervious to damage as XLY on the Kurumi. 3% away from the ultimate, should be able to get it on the board. Is it going to matter? He's got a fan in his back pocket. He's going to utilize that for the fast scale rush charge to keep his movement ahead of his chaser. Can he keep this movement going? Can he break the ankles of the team that are looking to chase him? Hops into the building, goes for the bait. JDG went to the other doorframe expecting the Kurumi to leave, but XLY backtracks and goes in the same doorway that he came out from, and now he's going to be chased down still by these players. Doesn't have the usage of any of his teammates, but does still have both the parasol and the umbrella. He keeps mixing up his movement. Absolutely artful. This is a masterclass of movement right now that you would see from the likes of TRG's Fang, as JDG still have not been able to lock him down to the point that they're investing the Takeda Ultimate.
Sometimes you just got to put the Kurumi down, which is moving too much. Moxie now going over to Plume Castle. ASC is going to pop the Kurumi ult. Every ult's going to be invested. The Draco Storm is so ferocious, so all the lightning shots coming down on the ASC, they have to do everything just to survive the initial aggression coming out from GG. But GG is going to get dove on by BBE. BBE not showing any fear, going head first into the Zai ultimate and the Draco Storm of GG. They do not care. They have CGS against the wall right now. They know the Kurumi ult is out. CGS trying his best to get out of this blender that is BBE. Finally, his teammates creating the space for CGS to pop some heals right now, but the zone is ticking right now. They're about to hit max corruption. Boy, he trying to put on the pressure to secure the kill onto CGS, trying to get the soul bloom, but CGS with the half charge gonna take Rohi for a ride, gets the uppercut combo, and GG is gonna trade out one of the kills, but max corruption, he's gonna have to go in his zone, but who's waiting for them with open arms? ASC and KLA are waiting. The grapple cancel coming in, and now ASC and KLA are fighting over the scraps of this slaughter between BBE and GG, but it looks like the spoils are going to be going to KLA, looting up all of that nice gold loot coming out from the GG's Fallen.
Oh, that's huge. ASC are able to find a soul bloom. They had Yang depletion, and they don't have to get an extra kill because they're able to find a soul bloom coming through from the players of GG, who was so far in zone when that fight was going on that no one actually grabbed the bloom before they repositioned, and that is going to save ASE from having to spend some of the coins that they have in the back pocket. I say some of the coins because, oh my goodness, Raven, this team is absolutely stacked when it comes to Doctite coins. They've got 53k on the Kurumi alone. The Cicada is rocking in as well, over 10k. And that is going to be a lot of soul jades that this team is going to be rolling. You better believe we're about to hit the power spike scaling for the Cicada V3.
They should be able to buy armor as well. They do buy one more armor. I'm wondering if one of the GG members was able to survive. We didn't get to really see on the left side whether or not someone from GG survived. And ASC just gets the luck of the draw. I don't think in 3 years of watching GG have I ever seen them fallen with Draco Storm. It is extremely hard to fall with Draco Storm. Multiple teams have to all in you. And now normally when a team sees Draco Storm, they don't really want to fight you, let alone fight you in zone. ASC somehow creates enough pressure to force out the Kurumi ult, and then BBE comes in, dumps all three ults onto them as well, forcing out the Zai and Matari ult, and GG is gonna fall with that Draco Storm. That's absolutely crazy to me. Now going over to the Spirit Well, we're seeing multiple teams CE investing, getting this blue buff from the Spirit Well, and now they're going to get the double Kylan ultimate off, looking to hold down another team. And we're seeing TE struggle to really hold down a team, and this is something that I definitely noticed between like the likes of Bauda, GG, or Wolves. The amount of value that they get from their Kylan in these situations is like when you happen to find yourself very, very stacked, you need to be able to leverage and create a lot more value for your team. And he is at 9 kills right now, so we did see GG a little bit of an overextension right there, even though they're holding first place. He doesn't want to overextend and get absolute lobby. Now, blue buff, not as good as tiger buff, where it gives you that regen. It does give you significant damage reduction, and maybe since we don't see it from TE's perspective, they got a lay of the land, they saw the minimap ping, and they just saw 4 teams around them, so they're just not looking to really all in this situation, because like we were saying earlier, daytime Holoroth, game 2, every team went for an endgame composition. Every team here is trying to win out this last little bit. But what's surprising is we actually have less teams than the first game. First game, we had 27 players transitioning to this endgame, and for game 2, we have 21. So it will be curious. I'm I don't imagine anyone else will be falling until this next Spirit Well, but this next Spirit Well is definitely going to be a real treat. We're going to see a lot of cannons coming out. I'm wondering if anyone's figured out some type of finesse to switch out the armors. Now, what we've seen in the past, teams, this is how like a really interesting comeback mechanism that Trios teams have been utilizing within the league. Even it is worthwhile to go to endgame with blue armor because a lot of the times the first Spirit Well goes to the most stacked team and they already have purple and gold armor. So when they switch out for that gold armor, 2 purple armors are left available. So if you got blue armors and you go blueberry for that endgame, you see these teams try to sneak in with the ability of Hadi's Cube. It's been one of the reasons that I think they probably need to nerf this composition. It can still come back and find ways to win in these end games. Now, going into this last little bit, everyone's doing a little bit of control, Moxie. What I've definitely noticed with the money changes is almost every team puts a really good melee Jade on their support player. It gives them a lot of breathing room and they're able to assist their front line by sitting in the back and getting people in like Merciless Havoc or their nunchucks, their dragon roars, not getting parried. And I'm looking to see just how many of these top teams actually got a good Jade. Now, with the Warburst being nerfed, we're not seeing it being picked as much as we used to. That Jade was just so powerful before that you could just hold anywhere, and it just made this like couch of safety that everyone could just be like, nice, nothing can hit us now. With
vertical hitbox as well, since it was able to protect not just from abilities with the silence attached to it, but also from all of the range fire coming in through. As we're going to be seeing TE trying to hold down space, as you talked about Leo, with that support role, and the staff has Merciless Havoc equipped to it to provide himself a little bit of breathing room. As TE probably going to be contested on this in just a little bit. KLA going to be playing on the inside of that building. 5-1 also looking for the drop down. Spirit Well is going to now unlock, and it is going to be TE who are fully able to cap that one out and pick themselves up White Tiger's Pass. So it is going to be the double ultimate cycle coming through from these players. We do have to remember as well that there is a 2-second lockout on the shockwave impact now, so that when one of these players gets hit by a shockwave, it is going to take another 2 seconds for them to be vulnerable to the shockwave again. So no more dusting of the lobby. These teams, as a result, not really going to be going head to head as bloodthirstily as they had in the past to deny a team from picking up White Tigers, since it doesn't mean that if that team are able to pick up the kills, everybody else in the lobby suffers for it. As we're going to be having a look at Bowders Yuan, who unfortunately is going to be being pushed a very far distance out of that zone, having to climb himself back into this particular spot, just trying to live away from the pressure of all of those teams, forcing the ultimates to come through. Because as you said, Raven, all of these teams that we currently have left, all of these compositions are all end game. They are all power spiking at the very, very last moment of this game. We are more than likely going to be going down to a full heal-off situation with a lot of these Kylans holding on to those V2s and hoping to utilize that Keeling Guard and the 4 seconds of immortality that it provides to outlast a lot of their competition. And this means that no one is really wanting to force those ultimates. No one is wanting to take a fight right now because they're worried about being caught in the crossfire and having to trade ultimates with the team that they actually decide to aggress onto. So for the first time in a very long time, what we're actually seeing is something akin to 2021 and 2022 professional Naraka, which is the lull phase. We've got buccaneering again.
Everyone's finding a little bit of corner, and I can't recall last time I saw an endgame in this particular part of the zone. There's so many nooks and crannies that teams are finding, and no one wants to hard commit to this. I'm very curious to see how these Siphon compositions think they're going to win versus these Hadi compositions when it comes to this heal-off situation. Now we're seeing JDG at the top right now on Siphon, KLA on the Hadi, ASC on the siphon. We're seeing a good mix of everyone. And now as the zone's closing in, the last 2 minutes off, the hotties, you hear all the hotties popping their cubes in midair. KLA's looking for a new home right now. They just got evicted out of their situation. CXZ with the fist, trying to find a new spot to go. But they have this little bit of rooftop right now. T with the scale rushes over and over. They're prodding Bauda inside with the cannons, but ASC's all the way up at top shooting. They're swarmed to the enemies, but Bauda inside chilling. JDG up part on the high ground. They are getting focus fired by the cannon on the low ground from TE. They are forced to pop that Kurumi ultimate right now. They invest that Temi ult, and now we're going into phase 2. A minute and 30, Moxie. Everything is breaking out. Pure chaos is about to ensue. I don't know who takes it. Is it going to be
merciless? T's Leo is absolutely merciless with this Soul Jade. He's hitting absolutely everybody into the zone. ASC are going to be removed as KLA occupy that position right now. We are going all the way to heal off, and we still have 20 players left alive. Bauda, the ones who were being absolutely pressured by every single team in this lobby, had to throw in the Matari ultimate to be able to recover, but it should have cycled back into play, as thankfully for ASC was the Takeda player that went down, not the Kurumi. So Moran is going to be able to attach the tether onto the body, and you can see that Xiaowan is playing bodyguard to make sure that no one can camp the body when the Takeda gets brought back up. Comes in with the full hit of the charged R&B on the pole sword to contest onto the player that wanted to go for that sort of play. Everyone is going to be taking to the sky. This is such weird terrain, but this is going to benefit the Tumultuous immensely, because now everyone is locked into that wind wall. The Kylan's going to be coming in through with their V2s, the Kurumis with their armor circles, trying to give everybody that extra lease of life in the little bit of the zone that doesn't take corruption to damage, as everyone tries to live a little bit longer than all of the players around them. This is absolute madness. 20 players reduced to 10, now reduced to 8. 521's Pampy with the dashes still has the Killer God, is going to run out now. He's going to be outlived by KLA's QGG on the Hottie, who utilizes the ultimate not to get the kills, but to have the mobility and swooping like a magpie from body to body, grabbing the shiny soul blooms and getting the health reset off of them. And because of that, he's going to get his team that kill score multiplier, and TE walk away with the overall MVP that Takeda is able to receive, because unlike on Holorith, where with Salvation Podium you get the opportunity to pick up a legendary weapon, there is no such availability here on Mars. JDG going to be looking to try and find any loot that they can to go head-to-head with Wolves. Tutik with that spear is going to be interrupted before he can find the Dragon Slayers by that Zai F3, but he does find the Dragon Slayers, converting it into the Nez House. Uses the combo break now to escape the consequence of the charged R&B on the fan thrown into his back by Wolves. XEM goes on to the ag sides of the fight to get a little bit of a reset moment off. No other team on the minimap, so no potential of third partying just yet as we move into that neutral, but another set of Dragon Slayers finds its target onto the players of Wolves, and that's going to confirm another kill against their teammates. Tutik now gets the cycle back into that combo break, goes for the overhold, gets the max range parry on the charged RMB fan throw wide, and JDG comfortably win that first fight. They do have to sacrifice one of their players, however, looking very, very strong on those new sphere changes, as OUG going to be looking exceptionally strong into this fight against ASC. KLA thinking about going for the third party, drawn in by the additional AoE damage of the Moonbane that OUG have been able to grab up together, as Jinyu is going incredibly low, rolls back to get the Soul Bloom off of one of the bodies that has been dropped to get a little bit of health back, finds the grapple into every drop onto ASC's Moran, and enough damage has been done that he gets to hit into his Viper V1, trying to find the stun onto the third party players of KLA.
KLA falling to them, but the Moonbane of OUG keeping their res safe, but KLA able to get a nice reset here off spawn, but now everyone has to be very careful here. The Moonbane is the bad signal, Moxie. Everyone will see this Moonbane and move in for some action if they're looking for a timing attack off spawn, but OUG's already up to 6 kills off spawn. JUG already up to 3 on the side here. KLA landing low key, challenging ASC. Mushrooms are being hit.
Wait, ASC salty run back.
Nothing wrong with a little bit of salty run back. Nothing wrong with a little bit of a pinch of salt. Moxie goes a long way, but DRG versus X1 next to this Melissa. Purple armor though on Kakashi, forcing out the Kurumi ult, but Kakashi does not have his ult ready. Up to 99%, just a little bit. Is he gonna pop it? He is. They're trying to burn him down. He has a sliver of health. Tap dodge roll over and over, but Kakashi is gonna get the stagger. But the Temi is gonna use his F to iframe it. He has to defend his teammate. Both DRG members are super low, and X1 is gonna be able to defend it just with that one Temi. A nice parry is gonna be coming out. XLY cleaning up this fight. Really good stuff from the Temi, using his combo break, and Temi kind of a soft counter to a Viper and her
Tessa.
stun. Yeah, and Tessa, both of them, for some reason, they just gave Temi, when he pops his combo break, he becomes intangible right at the end of it, and no stagger hits him. As long as you time it well, it's very generous, not super hard to time, but if you're looking to pick up Temi, he is one of the strongest characters in Trios, and it has always been for the past 3 years, and you're seeing exactly why he's, even though the V1 comes out and it's a pretty destructive ultimate, the reverse Uno, it's not going to matter because of the back of Temi creating that space and defending his teammates stagger using that combo break.
I mean, you say for some reason they gave it to him, but I remember the days when he didn't have the gold on his app, and every single time Temi utilized it, he just got uppercut chased by the dual Hallies. As we're going to see ASC, no revives to this team, going in for the kill against OUG. That's going to be the Witch and teleport coming through, but Jiang Zong with that Kylan V2 is still going to have the ultimate available if they can figure out where exactly OUG have ran off to. Not seeing a Kylan bearing down upon them immediately, so it does look like OUG have been able to slip away silently, not quite into the night, but definitely into a full reset to now jump onto ASC, who'd split their players and trying to figure out where OUG had run off to, and now it's an absolute race for ASC's teammates to come back in time before the zip dies. The ultimate is going to be able to proc. The Tessa is going to be able to catch on to Moran. He tries to dodge away, but he is going to go down as the reinforcements come out. But OUG Jinyu has been able to cycle back into another Viper V1 charge, looks to try and find the separation onto the players of ASC, manages to find the split, and now it's going to be 3 versus 1 as they turn onto the fragmented players of ASC, who I should remind you, Salty ran back. That is ASC out of the lobby.
ASC. I mean, you know what? Sometimes salt is not good for your health. Too much salt can lead to high blood pressure and an early send back to the lobby. OUG is going to find that free kill off spawn. Up to 9 kills, though. This is good for OUG. You know, they're trying to qualify. They're trying to make it to the top 12. They're already at 63.5, about to reach that threshold. There's still a lot of Naraka to be played, though. We're only at the halfway point. Game 3. But off spawn, 9 kills is very nice, Moxie. You're sitting, as far as the benchmark for having a Viper composition or Matari, getting 9 kills is very big. Now, we're looking at Wolves over there. What composition are they? They are on the Xiphon composition, but they did lose their Zai, so they're just trying to bide their time, and hopefully they can res their teammate. Now, to the south, KLA versus 5-2-1. Pammy gonna start out this out. Popping the F2 on a Takeda. KLA 17S gonna get paid on his drop down flank. Nice jump on by 5-2-1. The Tesla ult's gonna be coming out, getting 2 members of 5-2-1. Pampy has his F3 connected to him, but the V1 is gonna be invested. Sager's gonna be coming out off of that Tesla ult. Oh no! Focus attack from QGG is going to push Pampy away, so he's not going to get staggered. And now 5-2-1 is turning the fight around, forcing the Wu Chen port out, but they still have a ton of ultimates. 5-2-1 is going to be able to clean this up. Did they see where KLA went?
Oh, 100%. They just grappled up onto that ledge.
Now, the first zone doesn't really hurt at all, so these two teams are going to be able to dupe this out inside the zone. Temiel's gonna be invested. Grumiel's gonna go down though. They are gonna fight in the center of the zone, but KLA does not care. They know they're all in right here. They are fighting it out inside the Kurumi circle, but what can they do against the tankiness that this Kurumi circle provides? All they can do is fall. They do pick up one kill. 5-1 though. Almost get clutched up, but QGG will fall. Pampy with the massive 2 parries. He wins the first fight for them, and he closes out the second fight for them. Nice job by 5-1 to pick off one of the strongest teams in the lobby, KLA.
Yeah, 5-1 going to be very happy about that. The question is, are they going to be spotted when they rotate out of zone? They do still have that Cicada ultimate to fall back onto if they get challenged, as well as the fact that we do have the first realm of Yangs starting to spawn on up, so a lot of these teams' attentions are going to be diverted over trying to secure those. We can have a look and see that Bowder have already got one legendary soldier to that name. We'll have to wait and see what exactly it is going to carry, as it looks like no matter when, at some point in these lobbies, Bowder and GG are always drawn together, fated to fight, this time not in Secret Tunnel, but inside the first realm of Yang. CJS on that Takeda charges up the R&B on that Fan Yu, charging up the Scale Rush, trying to come on through, gets interrupted, however, by the pressure coming on out from his mirror, and we're going to see both of the hyper carries, the slap coming on out to find the full stagger against Bowder's use, that he does not get to utilize any of that range that he has to that staff. Looks for the 1-2 light stagger, holds onto the charged RMB, doesn't manage to find the commitment, but is still getting a lot of pressure away from his teammates with the zoning capability. Utilizes one of those shelves to set into the charged RMB scoop on that staff. The Kurumi Tava is going to be expanded from GG's side. They're going to put the pressure onto GG's Kurumi, trying to force that Tava to snap early, as we're going to see now the pressure go on to the Tumult. One more Furin shove going to be invested on the side of Bowder2, leaving him with 2. Make that 1. He sees a low health target. Temi tries to find the lockdown with the staff, gets interrupted, however, by GG CGS, who still had a Furin shove available, got the Kurumi Tava to play forward into a much more aggressive position, and now goes for the 1 versus 1, holding on to Bowder's peak, forcing out that combo break ability so that Frufru gets a little bit of breathing room. Unfortunately, his Kurumi is still going to go down, but CGS is going to be able to find with the Fan the follow-up, and now it goes to a 1 versus 1. The uppercut connection doesn't manage to build into the charged RMB though. CGS is going to be able to live a little bit longer, goes for a hold, manages to find the catcher's peak, hits the ground, and this should be CJS able to come through with the combo break, force onto that Temi now with the grapple. 17 seconds left. Peak throws out the wisp. CGS gets stuck inside it. He gets sent up into the charged LMB on those halberds. The Scale Rush from Peak finds the setup, but CGS with the Fan is a little bit faster and gets the 1 hit that he needed to confirm the kill.
Oh no, Peak gets the Scale Rush, but he goes for a 1-2. Where's the uppercut? He clutched it up. Nice job by GG, but oh, that was a nail biter. But on the outside, X1 versus TDE. Hamilton's gonna be invested. XLY already running through Leo. He just absolutely got vaporized. Now Wash getting staggered right now, but it looks like another team is gonna pile in. Who is it? It's GG with Vermilion's buff. XLY, he's definitely trying to tap out, roll out of that situation, but he cannot. CGS is going to pop that Takeda and come through like a freight train, rolling through there with the third party. GG not missing a beat. They're coming out of their realm of Yang victory, looking to capitalize on some more kills. X1 fighting back though. All of GG's armor is going to be stripped, but Kurumi going to lift up all of their health. ZDI going to get pressed away on the Temi. CGS now looking for his teammate, looking for the backup, and GG, such spectacular team play, making sure none of their teammates go down. Drop down Focus attack coming out from that RMB with the pole sword, but GG is able to capitalize on the 3-piece, but X1 is going to be coming in with the third party. All the ultimates going to be utilized by GG. All they have are their weapons to fight this off, but it's going to be enough. GG will secure the Celestra third party, and they are up to... Wait, we can't see their score. Oh, they are up to a lot of kills. KLA with the drop down. Viper, though. It's the slowest drop down ever.
Yeah, it's still effective though, as it's going to be able to bag them the kill onto Free-Free, and the F3 from CXC is going to be able to secure very shortly after the secondary kill onto CJS. GG, however, still had Vermilion Bird's Mind. Do we see the Salty revive? Because they were right next to a Soul Ultra, and I'm pretty sure I heard someone revive as we cut away from one Viper V1 drop down to another Viper V1 drop down. DRG's Kakaishi just following along with the players below him, waiting for the opportunity to strike. His players potentially going to be setting it up. They're going to be able to come in with the third party onto JDG and BBE connecting onto these players. Unfortunately for them, they time it when both teams were actually disengaging from the fight that had occurred. DRG with that longsword still able to come through with the charge LMBs and the horizontal range distance of the charge up on that longsword with the kills that they were looking for onto the players of JDG. Shing is going to very shortly go down, and that is going to be DRG, not quite with the Viper opening that they were looking for, but definitely finding the kills that they wanted. Going to have to be careful that they don't get interrupted by BBE, although BBE being down that Matari and also down all of those ultimates, probably definitely not wanting to take a fight, but they have been spotted by DRG's Kakaishi, who with that pole sword has the potential of going for the chase, but it looks like they're prioritizing loot and resources from the drop bodies instead.
You see, actually, he debates on chasing, but seeing the Yang depletion, he assumes that the other player is going to go down. But now seeing that Roy Hee didn't go down, they are going to go and try to chase him down, where he was able to cure that Yang depletion, but now he has DRG's full trio chasing him with X1 lurking on the outside. Can Roy Hee find his way out of the situation? Tesla ult's going to come down. Does pop the Zai ultimate, but the Tesla ult will not allow him to fight back. Just out of all options, out of space. BBE is going to be cleaned up by DRG. Now looking at the scoreboard, X1 up to 8 kills on that Siphon. OUG still at 9 kills. Haven't been able to find another kill. But they are going for that Spirit Wall, and they are fighting against the Juggernauts. Wolves. That's all it's going to be invested by OUG. They want this Spirit Well. Gold F going to be used by the Tesla, but Wolves holding the line. They're not backing off. Shinju has to be careful. He's down to his last hit. Just a sliver of health. The jumping element is going to come out from NHQ. He is going to secure the kill, but oh my goodness, at the top we got KLA with the drop down stun, and Wolves is not ready for, oh they are. The Matari reacts and pops the ultimate. KLA is going to get reverse Uno. They are going to port out of their Tesla ult's going to come out, but now they have to worry about the retribution of Wolves as they secure the Spirit Well. But DRG comes out of nowhere. Wolves has used all their resources to secure this, but now DRG with the last second Zai ult is going to be invested, but they do not have any more cooldowns to deal with this Viper ult. Karumi ult does come down, but XCM is going to get pushed out, and DRG with the timing third party is going to be able to secure this Spirit Well.
Unless KLA go for a contest, because KLA was still in the area, but it does look like WX98 and that forward position pressure coming on through from that Wuchen has been more than enough to deter them. And just before we hit that 180 seconds and that Spirit Well despawns, should DRG be able to grab it. As KLA, unfortunately, they really wanted to use that Spirit Well to upgrade the blueberries that they had to their name. Instead, it's going to be 5-1 with that stanchion Sky Pillar on the Takeda. Just seeing off X1's LYD with those legendary nunchucks. GG in the meantime finding a kill onto TE, claiming that realm of Yang. Was that a 1 versus 3? Oh, that is really unfortunate if so, as we are going to be having a look to see what exactly 5-2-1 are going to be doing. It looks like they're going to be going for a little bit of hideaway inside the invisibility bush as the teams with Yang depletion start to wander the open world looking for teams to prey upon so that they can pick themselves up the Soul Bloom, which means open season for all of the Viper, Tessa, and Wu Chen compositions, Raven. We're about to see a lot of third-party potentials as poor TE's Wash, the lone Zai to this last team, is going to be burning through the entirety of his V2 and using the cast of the F3 just to put himself back on top of this tree, trying to live as long as he possibly can. Did he spot GG's full team in the distance on the low ground? Is he going to be able to run Bowder's players directly into the middle of a team that are currently running around with Draco Storm? Or did he not actually see GG? Because given the fact that we haven't seen him appear on the minimap, I think he might just have missed it.
That is unlucky. That was a one chance he's able to survive in that situation. But the trees provide a lot of mobility. We're going to get TE's Watch and TE's 14 trying to survive as well versus the White Tiger buff of DRG. Unfortunately for him, he is going to get grappled out of the air and staggered with the jumping LMBs from the fists. Tessa ult's going to be invested in. This is the great part of running the Viper composition. That Tessa ult only costs 60%, and you're able to secure a lot of these solos and duos who will be running away and possibly, like you were saying before, Moxie, run you into another team. Having that Tessa ult to secure these kills is absolutely critical to the success. But a lot of the time, especially when there were Transformers, it was really hard to secure just a solo player with good movement, especially if you're talking like a Matari or a Yuashan. It's just really, really obnoxious because their cooldowns provide so much mobility to them.
Yeah. We saw it in game 2. Remember when it was just the lone Karumi and they had to utilize the Takeda ultimate just to lock her down?
With a Karumi umbrella as well. Maybe we'll see Karumi at Worlds. I don't know why. Tri was telling me, he's like, I think I'm going to see a Karumi at Worlds this year. And I was just like, why would you say that? That's just so random. Even though we saw Karumi use the umbrella with such great success for that mobility, it needs a little bit of startup. You need space in order to jump and place the umbrella. But now, if you're able to create that space and put it down, there are a lot of like weird facing animation tricks you can do, because not necessarily where the Karumi is looking is where the umbrella is going to go. And as long as she does it very quickly, it does provide a decent amount of space that you're able to grapple out. Now, name of the game, though, I call it flying first class. When you have grapple distance in Naraka, you never want to go back. When you're running no grapple distance, it feels so terrible with 30 yards. You just can't go anywhere or 30 meters. It's so short compared to the max grapple. That 5 meters makes a huge difference. We are going to get 330 running out of their buff, running into the likes of 5-2-1. Now we do have 22 people left alive, and it looks like the Siphon compositions were able to survive to this end game. I'd be pretty surprised if GG was not able to do it when they are the premier Sand Siphon team. But first, we're gonna get Bauda versus KLA on the edge of zone. Force that Takeda ult out, and this is a tough break for all the Sand Siphons. A lot of trees for these Vipers to work, Moxie.
Tessa ultimate as well, trying to catch on to Bowder as they rotated away from the zone. DRG's Kakaichi with that purple pulse, so just charging up the RMB to put pressure onto Bowder's Yuran, who on that Karumi does have the V2, but now that's not going to be in play for Kakaichi's V1. And they find the stun onto the Karumi. Bowder's Yu with the meter dump on those nunchucks, trying to cover for his support and buy his survivability through that stagger. Unfortunately, will not be able to provide it. Yuran is going to go down, and DRG more than content with the kill that they were able to pick up, distance themselves from the fight, understanding that third parties are going to be coming on through, and they turn their sights onto the remaining players of Bowder, who are a little bit too late in rotating away from the scene of action. Now it's going to be OUG versus KLA Tester ultimate. Going to be invested catching on to OUG Jinny. The 3-second enchantment window is going to come through. KLA also going to be enchanted by a Tessa, but the Witch and Teleport is going to carry them away from all of the consequence from it. Now with OUG having lost Jinyu, they teleport to the top of the tree with the King's ultimate, managing to have the double up res time to get their Viper back, but they get jumped onto now by DRG, who saw where they teleported off to. Jinyu, having been brought back from death, does have the Viper V1 to try and zone them away, but he is so incredibly low that he falls regardless. And in the meantime, we've got Sand Siphon compositions vying for the Spirit Well. This contains Mystic Might and X1, incredibly confident in the fact that they're going to be the ones to pick this up, have already invested all of their ultimates for good reason. They're going to be able to cap the Spirit World with very little contest, given the fact that so many of those Viper teams were involved in a fight in another location entirely. The problem now becomes for X1 is that teams that they're going to be able to run into with the ultimate still up.
That's not a lot of teams left. Only 6 teams left alive. A couple. One of them is a duos, but is it half? 1, 2, 3. It's half Sand Siphon, half Viper composition. We get a nice mix here. Can the Vipers utilize the trees here to find nice assassination plays, a lot of drop downs capabilities? And what is the winning strategy for GG if they're going to secure this now? Normally, they like to go slow and steady. I see no reason why to risk in this spot, as you're seeing with this wide angle shots. DRG all the way at the top. OUG's SS lurking in the shadows, lurking on the trees, looking for drop downs. And we've been seeing drop down Viper ults all day. The AC 130s are coming in hot for that backup. X1 has the blue buff, and this is one of the situations that I would say I would want blue buff over White Tiger's buff, even though it doesn't give you as much sustain. The fact that it can tell you where these ambush plays are going to come out is really, really big, so you can choose good positioning. No one can really sneak up on you, and with so much verticality that these trees provide, a lot of the times people can use crazy airwalks and get behind you. CX, Z, and KLA trying to find a home, trying to find a position to stay alive here, but this is a tough part for these Viper compositions. They don't have as much money as these super rich Sand Siphons going into these end games, and the more money you have, the better range you're gonna have. And KLA is suffering right now from the lobby's range attacks, the cannon shots, the artillery, forcing them to relocate, forcing them to go through the Moonbane and risk their lives under that hot breath. But KLA will survive to fight another day, finding some refuge in the house.
Yeah, they are able to weather the storm. Whether or not they're able to live the full duration of it, that will be found out shortly. It's going to be the next Spirit Well now. Who's able to pick up Mystic Might? Once again, 521's Pampy just sitting on that staff is going to be a very easy target for the Wisp to come on through. Hits in with the stanchion to make sure that he does not get griefed by that Clydeweaver attempt that was trying to vacuum him in. We're going to see 521 Tien now getting caught up, having to invest that Karumi V2. 521 with the Temi ultimate, more than content with having confirmed the Spirit Well, going to be investing those ultimates, grabbing that buff, getting all of their ultimates back into the mix, and you can immediately see the disengage from all of the teams that were close in the lobby as they panic and try to just race away from 521. They don't have to be the fastest, they just have to be faster than the team behind them, so that 521 turn on those teams instead. KLA coming under a little bit of pressure. GG on the low ground, playing out of sight, out of mind, playing the long game. Very surprising that we didn't see them tip their hand into one of those Spirit Well contests, but given the fact that we have so many Viper Tester and Wuchang compositions still running around, going for a Spirit Well does make you a very large target for the entire lobby to turn on to. As DRG's Dunkling throws out that Clydeweaver, tries to close up the distance towards 521's Pampy to prevent the cannon pressure from coming out from this Takeda with the tap dodges of those fist blades, charging up those hits more and more, and 521 is going to be forced to back on off, even though we saw the Spirit Well get capped and double double ultimates be available for 521. They are not getting to run the lobby to that tempo, as everybody else around them was able to position very, very quickly away from being collapsed onto. X1 now going to be cooked over by GG with the Flamer. Kurumi Tev is going to be able to cleanse that fire debuff, as well as give XLY that damage reduction so that GG don't have the confidence of moving forward and trying to take the Takeda down, as these Sun Siphon compositions have to fight each other. The Temi is going to lose so much value if there are other Temis in the lobby able to overlap ultimates.
Yeah, the Rupture Gale, the burn damage from the cannon is key for holding position. You see GG force just duking it out with X1, the flamethrower and the cannon shots coming out. CGS with his blue cannon. He's out of heals though right now. They are going to have to salvage their heals, but a rare instance of GG running out of resources. The cannon shots and the consistent pressure from X1 bleeding out GG dry. They have to find a body here in order to secure some more resources. But as I say that, Kurumi is going to be invested. B1's coming down from DRG. X1, the victim of the first Viper drop. Wuchen Porch will be coming out. Kakaxi's team going back to zone, but another Viper ult is going to be coming down from OUG's Shinyu. Second Viper ult coming down. Temi ult's going to be invested. And the third Viper ult finally coming down. KLA's CXZ going to stagger the whole lobby. Shinyu's going to fall. Pampy's going to pick up the kill onto multiple players. 5-2-1 capitalizing within their Temi ult all the stun players, and now 5-2-1 looking poised to secure this win. Kurumi ult still on their side. Are they going to keep up the pressure? DRG, their neighbors, getting pressured by X1. Tessa ult's going to be invested. Pampy looking for a possible free kill, but on the high ground is GG. Unfortunately for CGS, he doesn't have any heals. He's trying to make his way to the bottom. He goes for the tap dodge roll, but he's not able to get out of here. Can GG come out with this? The last seconds are coming down. 5-2-1 holding the low ground versus the high ground of GG and X1. XLY with the Takeda popping his ultimate. He has 3 shots to his name now. 5-2-1 needs a delay for Pampy to get his ult online, but X1 is yoinking all the kills right now. 8 people left alive, 40 seconds left. Moxie, who is going to take this game 3 down?
15 kills on the side of X1, as well as all of the Soulburn resets they've been able to pick up. No more Fury shells left, but XY has been able to do enough, pushing all of these players into the Corruption 6 damage, buying ZDI on the Temi the space to come in with that ultimate and fully control all of these players' movements. However, a late Takeda ultimate is 5-2-1's attempt at a play of recontrolling this lobby. XLY don't have anything other than the Fist Blades and Wild Windspout on that fan to be able to interrupt it, and they will be able to take the Takeda down. Now it's just a matter of cleaning up the Tetsu, who comes in with the Mega Dump, finds the hit onto X with ZDI, but goes down to the Corruption 6 damage. The Kurumi of Sun Siphon will be able to outlive all, and surely that's going to be an MVP for X1.
Really, really good play from Natessa. She holds her ground to the last second, uses her F to knock everyone down, but like you said, Moxie, X1's Kurumi keeping her health as high as possible. It's not going to matter. X1 rolls through at the end, capitalizing by holding their cooldowns. Just have Sand Siphon, have Viper. I was like, there's the first Viper ult, there's the second one, there's the third one. And what's ironic about the Viper drop downs, so this off spawn going on to game 4, we'll have to see how things go.
Yeah, well, speaking about Fireflies, it is a dash for the Fireflies, and Jinyu is trying to get his hands onto those on that side. As the longsword hasn't got any armor, gets the Kurumi Tava to start getting that 20% damage reduction, as well as a little bit of that health max to go head-to-head against BBE. We can hear the slaps coming on through as they look to try and stagger at these players on the side of OUG, but Jinyu does not get to set up for those longsword cleaves. But unfortunately, because the slaps were involved in the little damage that they they do. The fight's gone on a little bit too long. And speaking about timing attack, here comes the third party from ASE rolling up into the mix and immediately upsetting the apple cart and just managing to clear through both of the teams that were so far behind in terms of loot, because both BBE and OUG had cannibalized the little tropes that actually were available, as opposed to ASE, who'd had all of the pick of plume and then been able to rotate over, coming in with both armor and weapons.
ASC, Kylan ult's gonna be invested. There's a no ult zone right over the hill crest. Will OUG recognize this and be possibly able to ice off some of this pressure? This is what I'm saying. The Fireflies just changes that dynamic so much. OUG's going for a ride, but Jiang Dong is going to be running out of ultimate. Nice peel coming out from the supporter. Sinu's able to survive at 1 HP, and now is able to get this Zai ult cooking right now. ASC's Moran is going to get a parry right here. Sinu runs out of Zai ult though. He looks for the attack, but he's not able to get it. And ASC is going to secure these kills off spawn up to 5. Both teams dive onto these Fireflies, but ASC comes out on top.
ASE's Hollow games are looking so clean. This is 100% a team to watch. They're going to be watching Bowder. Bowder doing a very smart play at the moment. Instead of leaving one of their players down below, all 3 of them are going to rotate. They are going to be caught out by that bell ring, so ASE is going to know where they currently are. And you can see that already ASE are getting ready to position so that when Bowder do eventually emerge from the cavern system, ASE are ready to deny them the control of those precious ballista onto podium, as we head on over to Lakes and have a look at BBE having revived. Now potentially going to be going head-to-head against another team in the area just ahead of them, DRG lying in wait. However, BB have been able to pick themselves up 2 sets of blue armor and now make that 3, as this is the fight that we were waiting for Salvation Podium. Bowder having emerged gets one of their players onto one of those ballistas, block it off with a Wuchen wind wall so that ASE cannot interrupt them, and now go to absolute town, catching onto these players of ASE that had split off, finding these kills into the 2 versus 1 situations. But Wolves coming in with a third party are going to try and find the interruption, as you with the F3 plays here onto Xiao Wan, does turn the camera so he knows when the Thorny Roller is coming, immediately dodges out of it, and then goes back to pick up some of the loot left behind.
How does you securing the loot? Now, normally we see OUG and KLA securing this area, but Bowder coming in with the timing attack, looking for the remnants, but looks like it's a ghost town after all the actions already gone down. But now Bowder, this was impressed me about Bowder so far today, is their timings when it comes to their Viper compositions. You normally doesn't play Viper, but this team has been super well organized about where they go, and when they go there, they're able to capitalize and really pick off on this rushdown strategy for the Viper. Moran is going to get caught out on the ASC. He's going to pop the Tesla all in a 1v3 situation, but he's stuck against the corner. Everyone from Bowder just waiting to deep fry him in the cooker with the double holds, and you is going to make work with his teammates and move on to more teams. Now GG, they did loot up in the north, and we're seeing the tried and true GG blue armor, full Jade slots ready to go for this first from Yang. Who do I want to see versus GG inside Yang? Now,
I want ASE.
Either ASC or X1. Is X1 on a... No, X1 is on a Viper composition. Will someone go into... You know what? I want to see GG versus a Viper comp. I know that's going to be pretty rare, but would Bowder dare to go into Yang?
Bowder would definitely fit the ammo, for especially with the loot that they've got, right? They're able to get a legendary greatsword, which is going to be turned into a pulse sword, I'm sure, the next time we see them off of Salvation Podium Sword. As it is going to be Wolves versus OUG currently. Remember, OUG are on their last lives, so this is going to be incredibly impactful of them. Have to be careful that they don't get too close to some of those cacti, as it is going to be XEM with that side V2. Does still have that F3 as well, catching onto these players of OUG, going for that scoop, finds the F3 connection to find the last couple of damages onto OUG's SS before he gets to turn his attention 2 versus 1 against the rest of Wolves' players. And Raven, pretty soon we'll find out whether or not you get your wish. We have seen Viper, Tesla, Wuchen teams go into the Realm of Yang so far today and win, but potentially we don't have to wait for the Realm of Yang to spawn, because GG and ASC are actually around Ballista Tower themselves. Do we see a fight, or do they back on off, understanding that they do not want to invest those resources and ultimates before the Realm of Yang spawn starts to come on through? Is KLA and DRG also very much not committing, but feeling each other's resources and loot out at the moment, wanting to see how much damage the other teams around them are going to output to get a better read of whether it is safe to engage or whether they should just play a little bit further afield?
Yeah, GG at 0 kills right now, but JGG found their off-spawn win. ASC also able to win their Firefly situation. We didn't really get to see Bauda as much, up to already 6 kills though. DRG up to 3 kills. Wolves also winning their off-spawn. You know what? GG versus Wolves, the 2 Titans going at it. Now GG usually slow to warm up in the past. Now this season, Wolves has been very, very dominant, but it looks like onto the new patch, as teams have become accustomed, Wolves have slipped from their dominant form. Now, they still have remained consistent, staying in the top 5, but before it, they looked like a juggernaut. They looked unstoppable. Now, Bauda has definitely found their rhythm with the likes of you, JL, the same thing, and GG has never really backed off. They've always been in the top 3, and they're firing on all cylinders, and they've always been one of the consistent teams on the league. Now, Wolves, well, I always chop out the first half as the warm-up time. Now there's no more excuses. They need to get into this Yang, and they need to establish themselves, especially one of the best ways to boost your confidence is definitely winning the mirror matchup. There's no excuses to it. Both Wolves and GG are on that Xiphon composition, so I'm curious to see how things are going to pan out. We do have you with a gold pole sword. Gold weapons do scale up the F3 of Viper. You fly through the bush, just double check. We gotta see if anyone's doing it. But are we gonna see Bauda go into?
Oh, it looks like they might. Oh, they're going in. It's not GG though.
It's DRG.
We do get GG versus Wolves. We do get GG versus Wolves.
We'll see that.
It is going to be Bauda versus DRG. So it's Viper, Tesla, Wuchen, and this is crucial. It's not against the Xiphon composition. They don't have to worry about the material ultimate. Bauda's you with that legendary pulsar picked up from Salvation Podium. Thinks about the pistol swap, gets the F3 hit onto the zipping. That's going to be very detrimental to that zip ultimate, and that is forced immediately to come through. You now looking to come on through with this Viper V1, finds the stun isolation onto the Kylan. The bonk of the Chubbs are and beyond the pulsar is able to find the connection. The Wuchen teleport going to be invested to set themselves up into a better position to get on top of that zip with the next F3. Finds the parry onto the longsword ranged hit, and you is on absolute fire right now. Sees the cube set up. The Wuchen teleported directly below it to be able to catch these players when the combo breaker was invested as they fell from sky to ground. And you is trying with the scale rush from the legendary pulse sword to put them even further, 6 feet under. Unfortunately for him, he's not able to find the connection until the grapple brings the zip tumbling down. Can he find the hit? Has he done enough to keep the zip isolated so that Bauda's players can turn onto the low players from DRG and confirm the kills? No, the zip is able to come in with that F sustain. You throws that one hit of the horizontal, but can't commit to the second. The cavalry bloom coming in absolutely clutch as he tries to find the kill confirmation onto the zip, but he does go down. Finally, the longsword is able to find his target in the Viper's spine, and with a huge hit of damage from that purple longsword, Kakashi is going to be able to find the win.
Tough break for you. He does. My man was running around with half health for at least most of that fight. And I was like, is he going to stop for a heal? No, he's just keeping his foot on the gas, looking for the kill. Unfortunately, he crashes and burns going into that 2v1. He tries to look for the parry, but Pole Sword's parry a little bit slower than other weapons, not able to land it, and he will get taken down by that horizontal. But we're on the outside. We're going to get TE versus, well, we snap over to X1 versus KLA. They're going to find 17S inside zone, but BBE going to be showing up with TE. Multiple players showing up into the zone now. It is first shadow, so not that much corruption yet. They're still going to be able to heal. Blue buff is on X1. They are going to hunt down the remnants of BBE, and now TE trying to make their way out of here. They do have X1 up to 2 kills right now, and it is a Viper composition. TE has to be very careful. I believe they had blue buff. I guess they didn't. They are not going to see T camping right next to them. Then on the other edge, we do have ASC with that Yang depletion. 3 minutes 20 seconds. They do need to find a cleanse, and they are hunting the edge of zone. They are going to be running up into GG and the remnants of KLA. On the outside, they do hear a solo go by them. Now, ASC does find KLA, and of the CXZ going to push in the zone. Temi F is going to be invested. Combo break not going to be enough. ASC staying on top of him. Oh, but explosive armor creating the space. He's trying to run into the chaos. Can he make it out? He makes it onto the rooftop. ASC is going to pop the Kylan ultimate to secure the kill. Eggnog tries to find the kill, and he does find it behind the rocks, but in the meantime, GG is still over here with the Zai ultimate. The Kylan ult, key to beating the Zai ult. Can they find the kill in the CGS? CGS getting juggled right now, down to the last hit. Jangdong is able to get the slash off right before his ult ends, and now GG is going to get cleaned up by ASC, but BB on this other side, saved by ASC, is going to make their way to the right. Big pick off for ASC to get their Yang depletion cured.
Yeah, GG is still going to be in the lobby as well, because they are actually the ones who won the matchup against Wolves in that mirror. Wolves subsequently going to be on the Yang depletion, having to stick themselves into this fight against 521. They were able to put a bounty onto this team to track down where exactly to head into. XEM, though, is getting absolutely popped about by this Kylan ultimate, sent absolutely packing before he can come in with any hit from the Zai V2. Goes for a little bit of a juke with the drop down into the F3 bait to get back up onto the high and look to collapse onto these players that try to chase after him. The Zai ultimate now out of the mix. The Kylan ultimate also going to be removed for the Hardy ultimate. The 521 is still going to be in full swing, as is the Cube combo breaker that was set up in advance, and Wolves are just not able to find any sticking point of damage to confirm these kills. 49 seconds left. As we talked about, this composition struggles into the neutral where they don't have that burst hit of damage. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like they can break through the zip sustain. They will be able to find one kill onto 521's Akame. Is it going to be enough? XEM with that hang sword trying to find the chase. 521's Pampy locks into the 2 versus 1, but has the combo breaker to break away from it and set up into the fist blades. And now XEM is forced to go for a little bit of a reset, but that allows 521 zip to come through with the F sustainability attaching onto the Kylan instead. And this is turning around for 521 because Pampy is able to come in with another V2 and collapse onto the remaining players of Wolves.
Unfortunately, Wolves XEM is going to make it out of there. Nice job by 521 to clean it up, and that just shows Kylan just hard counters as XEM sees the Kylan all goes off, knows it's unwinnable. He makes it out of there immediately. Now, no ult zone. ASC versus X1. Jiawen is going to be going in on ZDI. XLY is trying to lead the charge with these cannon shots. Doesn't want to overextend past his no ult zone because the Draco Storm Spearwell is coming out. Draco Storm, one of probably the strongest buff right now. Also replenishes your ultimate for the first time. A lot of teams descending upon us, all of the lobby showing up. XLY does have a reduction on the spear. Dragon Roar as well. And X1 letting the teams know, if you come in here, you're about to get some of this business. They are not joking around, using that Erudition and Dragon War perfectly in combination. But ZDI, he doesn't care about this buff. We're just out there going for the kill. On the outside, ASE's Moran has Cube up, but X1 does not care. They do get the buff secured, and with this nice spacing from ZDI, they are going to stay on top of them. But now, unfortunately, for 330, he is going to run into the Draco Storm of X1. Multiple teams all descending on here. BBE coming in to yoink the solo kill. XLI with the Erudition trying to look for the Flame Blade, not able to land it. But too many teams here. X1, nice composed play coming out for them, waiting to pick their spots correctly. LYD really leading his team well. ZDI, no ultimate on the Viper, no ultimate on the Tesla, making their way to low ground, but we're going to go into some Realm of Yang action. DRG versus JDG.
TUTIC with that Takeda ultimate still has 2 Furon shoves as well as legendary halberds. WX then gets Furon shoved into the Wisp follow-up, gets the Zip F to be able to heal a little bit further back, but that's all going to be ripped away by the charged RMB coming in through from TUTIC. Kylan ultimate, however, is still going to be in play for a little bit as he's able to find the interruption onto TUTIC's Takeda. Now it's going to be again the charged RMB forcing out the combo break utility from the Kylan's team. The ultimate also coming in to put pressure onto TUTIC, but he finds the spacing with the charged RMB to set back up into it. However, the staff is going to be able to find the uppercut extension to set further up into a even further follow through from his teammates as they catch on to that juggle. DRG now lacking one of their crucial players, but JDG also going to be lacking that Cicada. JDG's Kiki on this Kurumi with the fist blades looking for the jump LMBs as the players try to get onto that pillar to set up the skill rush, and with that fast catch, JDG will be able to find the damage necessary to turn things around. That is going to be legendary fist blades picked up for the Kurumi, but the action does not slow down, as in meantime we have X1 going head to head against ASE, still utilizing this crossfire of that Erudition purple focus to set up into the Dragon's Roar on those nunchucks, and it is absolutely butchering these players in the open world. Raven, the spacing from this team has been so well coordinated, as we're going to see ASE's Jiang Dong unfortunately interrupted before he can go for the skirmish off of those fist blades. Does have the Kylan ultimate, manages to find one of the hits, but gets caught up into that Tesla ultimate and knows in 3 seconds he's going to get absolutely staggered out into the mix. What that enchantment window, the Keelan guard is going to be able to keep him alive a little bit longer. He's still got a couple of dashes to his name, but he immediately has to just go for a full disengagement the second that ultimate cancels out. As now breaking the ankles, he goes into the zone, deciding to go out to the storm damage as opposed to letting X1 claim 1 kill tally.
That's tough for X1. It's always tough when your opponent chooses to off themselves instead of donating you to kill. But it is optimal denying their competitors this possible kill. It is very, very close right now. The cutoff being 70.5. It's probably going to be increasing to around 85-ish FPX. Probably going to be the gatekeepers of that top 12. Wolves right on the cusp. OUG on the cusp. TE on the cusp. Still, though, 4th game, if you're just tuning in today, still 2 more games after this. But this lobby, J2G absolutely slaughtering. DRG needs to get Yang depletion, but JDG with this Draco Storm putting on the aggression, foot to the pedal. And Roy Hehe is going to fall to JDG's tut. Now, JDG, they've been picking up the pace at this halfway point. Non-stop action. Same thing with a GG. We saw GG at 0 kills going into the first Yang. They're already up to 8 kills as well. Both of these teams absolutely picking up after their off spawn. DRG with the Yang depletion, 2 minutes 55 seconds. Unfortunately, they are going to be running into a wall. That is JDG. They see the gold armors, and they know the gold weapons are behind it, so they're going to look for a different target. Still a lot of time to be working with. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. It's really around that minute 40 that you really start getting tense. You start puckering up. You're like, all right, we need to find somebody, because minute 40 is not enough to blow through 3 cooldowns, or 3 ultimates, I'd say. But JDG...
Yeah, they find Moran, because ASC are down to just the 1 zip. And they're moving further away from him. They have found BBE though, Raven, who are camping out towards the edges of the zone, hoping to rotate without being spotted. And now that is going to be the go sign for DRG to just amass all of their ultimates directly into this team. They know that they can't take too long, otherwise they're going to get held in place by another team rolling on up, not to third party this fight, but to gatekeep them when they try and rotate out of the zone. And KLA are going to be trying to do exactly that, but WX98 still has a couple of hits from that Kylan V2 to go. KLA with the Kurumi Tether are going to be able to lift the pressure that DRG laid down upon them, as DRG are just looking to try to disengage. JDG and BBE going to be left behind in their wake, as unfortunately for DRG it does look like the rotation wasn't as clean as they wanted. One of their players, I believe that was their Zip, is going to get caught behind, isolated by that Temi ultimate, as in the meantime Spiritwell has spawned up. This is White Tigers first, and you know what that means. These teams are going to be fighting tooth, nail and claw to confirm that they're the team that gets that buff.
Yeah, White Tigers buff. Not as strong as it was before, but still going to do massive AoE damage to the rest of the lobby. Oh my god. GG's Alex M coming in with the focus slide in by me. And the F2 for Matari comes flying through, and JDG's going to get their armor shredded. Their Takeda has to be careful. He can just fall to some burst damage, but GG going to stop chasing. They're happy to just take this buff, secure their end game. They're already up to 8 kills right now. Slow and steady wins the race. Pambi's going to be dropped down with the focus attack. CGS is going to invest that Zaya ultimate, threatening that if you do come into here, we will fight to the very end. And they are going to secure this kill, getting the second ultimate up and the gold armor onto the zipping. The CGS is going to be going out, seeing if they can find anyone to fight. No ultimate's going to be triggered by JDG, but CJS is looking for possibly a solo on the outside, looking for some action, but UG unfortunately not going to find any action there. But speaking of action, at the roller, X1 and KLA are going to be going at it. Takeda ult's going to be invested. Immediately posturing to push him back into the roller zone. ZDI is going to fall, but the Wuchen port from LYD is going to keep them alive. Heals are going to be coming out, but multiple teams are going to see this Wuchen team come out and hopefully try to pick him off. But ZDI coming from the top rows with the V1 Sun. Armor swap's going to come out, keeping his teammate alive. LYD with the clutch play, giving his armor away. Now spreading out some of the heals, some of the love, but ZDI is going to get grapple staggered. LYD is going to hold the line with the Dragon War, try to get ZDI back to healthy. JDG is putting on the pressure. See, can ZDI find the heal? Wuchen Wall is going to come out. We will get a stabilization. A triple track from Kakashi is going to come out of nowhere. LYD is going to fall, and JDG is going to pick off the rest. Tough break for X1. They almost had it, I believe, for the second, but from the top ropes, DRG comes in with the assassination.
Oh, the weather forecast on Holoroth. Cloudy with a chance of falling charged R&B pulse on attacks. That is so unfortunate, because they played that oh so perfectly. Still, a lot of these players are able to ice off the pressure that GG picks up with the double ult cycle, having grabbed that White Tiger's Paras with a very smart kite and activation of that Forbidden Seal, which did somewhat slow GG's momentum, and you can see them up top just playing on the other end of the tracks of that Phony Roller. Is in the meantime, all of the teams that were so busy running away from GG are actually putting so much pressure on each other that all of these resources are being forced, which does mean that GG should have the last laugh. 5-2-1's Pampy with that Kylan ultimate sees a very low Viper from X1, will be able to jump and find that kill with one of those dash connections before now turning onto the players of KLA. In the meantime, I'm pretty sure GG are going to be looking to secure the next Spirit Well, which is also going to contain a White Tiger's prowess. As Pampy now out of ultimate is going to be going a little bit low. However, Yin with the spacing on that zip is going to be able to throw in the F to get him fully killed right back on up, as it is going to be now the contest for this next Spirit Well, as well as the potential of utilizing that dome to block the range pressure from all of the other teams in the area. 5-2-1 just checking the purple invisibility bush, making sure that no one is going to quite literally ambush him if he slows down for a reset point, as it isn't GG who prematurely set that position for the Spirit Well. It's actually going to be JDG. And with a Sand Siphon composition uncontested and that Tumult ultimate in place, no one could actually stop JDG from picking that up immediately. All they could do is try and hide and live through the pressure, but JDG's two-tick is able to find one in the purple bush, comes through with the Fury and Shove, locking down onto that Tessa, who does throw out the ultimate, unfortunately does not manage to find the enchant window to disengage safely, and JDG are going to be looking for the kills, not looking, however, in the purple invisibility bush that all of DRG are currently residing within.
JDG hunting is down. They do have all their ultimates up. Fortunately, this Tesla is just being an absolute nuisance. XLY making them work for it, just not being a freebie right now. XLY jumping off the ledge. F2 Matari coming out of nowhere, trying to yoink the kill. Looks like GG sees that solo player running away, but JDG, I don't believe they were able to capitalize. XLY is able to make it out. I don't see him. Where did he go?
He died to GG.
Died to GG. Okay, so GG's Matari able to pick up the kill, and they're up to 10 kills now. JDG, GG, and DRG both very, very stacked going into this endgame, but JDG, last time they got put in this position, were able to capitalize by grabbing that Spirit Well. When they get the Spirit Well, they're able to secure the win. Can they do it again? Now, they are on the likes of GDGD is very, very scaled up. They are holding the high ground. Very, very interesting endgame terrain situation again here, Moxie. We did have the arches earlier, but F2 is going to come down. CJS is going to just get roasted by the whole lobby. The F1 assassination play from JDG. Oh my goodness. My man was caught off guard. They're trying to res him, but
oh no,
he will not let them. It's a sad, sad day to see GG being lobbied out of their end games, but JDG is here to stay. The other double gold armor team, do you remember GG was super stacked as well, and they are gonna fall victim to JDG refereeing this end game.
Yeah, Wolves too. They see GG in that tough spot and are able to find the kill onto Free. Oh, GG, I should note, are running the zip instead of the Kurumi for the Siphon, which works in terms of Realm of Yang for having that player who could still play aggressively, as opposed to the Kurumi who has to hold on and not go into the fight when the Tether is active. Does not work in the end game with all of these players with Flames Breath and Ruptured Gale just ripping through all of that available sustainability, with the Zip just not able to cleanse as easily as the Kurumi who gets it on a 1 second cooldown. As we are going to see KLA having consumed the position that GG previously held, holding on to their ultimates, still having this Decatur ultimate, as well as getting to pressure with the cannon all of the teams below them. Semi-ultimate is going to be invested JDG, trying to keep themselves safe in the middle of that one, but Two-Tick is going to get parried into the corruption tick. Damage lives long enough to get back in, almost gets Fury and shoved right back through. Massive heal plays coming on through from his team to make sure that he's going to be kept up and alive. Group heal and advanced heal 100% going to be in play for the Kurumi of JDG to make sure that that Cicada lives as long as he has. Everyone on the low ground now getting split apart by Wolves who make their move. still don't check the purple invisibility bush. That's the one that DOG was in previously. It's the one that 521 are occupying now. They're going to be spooked out of it, however, with all of the pressure coming through. But WX98 with that surprise Kylan V2 as well as the Keelan guard will be able to live to reposition onto a lower place standing. Now puts the pressure in with the longsword, and the scale rushes looking to try and buy his team a little bit of a reset point is above them. All of the teams left in this lobby scrap to live through all of the pressure from the cannons.
Yeah, just everyone taking to the sky and trying to get away from these rocks. Everyone's trying to grapple up to find this last little bit of zone as everyone's suffocating. The zone is closing in. JDG is at the low ground. Tut on the Takeda with these gold fists. He's going to be able to pop his ultimate. He is going to secure this last little bit. He instead chooses to go to the sky to knock people into zone. But Tut is going to get juggled right now. Kiki's doing her best job to stay alive on the Kurumi, but Pampy with the guard is going to stay alive, and 521 with the bush play is able to clutch it up. Nice jump from 521 coming down from the depths. They have a lot of work ahead of them, but this is a good first step in the right direction, securing game 4.
I'm telling you, Raven, that killing god, that 4 seconds of immortality. Oh, it's so OP in those heal-off situations. And having the dashes, being able to chase down the Hardy too to make sure that it wasn't a denial of the kill spin multiplier. It didn't go down to that tight.
Into the cave, but now Wolves in it, and GG is landing a little bit off.
Yeah, OUG and Kayla both going to be going for the Firefly spawn outside of this cave. SS with the hangsword, QGG with the slaps. Gonna find the interruption, but SS does manage to get a massive hit of damage off. Gets the Kurumi Tabber back up as well, and that's gonna be KLA's QGG, who was able to get his hands on a little bit of Fireflies coming on through with that cube setup to give them a reposition out, as unfortunately OUG is the king. Mitaru without a combo break got caught behind and locked in as TE with the third party have their Kylan V2 ready to go. Picked up the Fireflies a little bit south of that cave and now come through with the timing attacks to punish both OUG and KLA, who caught in the middle of them.
Now we're going down to the south at Graveyard. Pampy and 521 Zion's gonna be invested. I believe, who is this? He's bouncing around over and over. X1's XLY will fall, but Kylan's ult is going out. LYD gonna get with a follow-up off the Kylan stagger, but LYD is going to get hit up by Pampy, focusing down that zipping. Dragonslayer gonna come out looking for an X1. Will pick up a kill onto 521 Jin, bring him down to a 2v2. Big Barry's gonna be coming down from Akame, and now into a 2v1 situation. Can LYD clutch it up? He cannot. Akame is going to bait out the parry, catch him with the overhaul, but another player is gonna be coming. What was that? Just like a flying and Hottie.
Hottie, yeah.
I don't know. Or XLY. Did he come back with a salty respawn, or did he just come in with all and leave possibly?
It wouldn't be the first time that X1 salty ran it back today.
That's true,
We have seen multiple teams salty run back today, as we are going to get GG, not against Wolves, but against BBE CJS with that Kylan V2. They'll still have the Immortality Guard up and available, as well as that Kurumi recast to have to get past. BBE taking cover in it, going to be utilizing those Fury shoves to knock CGS away so that he doesn't bounce the players outside of that healing circle before they try and collapse in onto one of these isolated players from the side of BBE. Ivan going incredibly low, but Fat Milk currently being isolated. Ivan with a huge parry is going to force the combo break to come through. The GG CGS is going to get hit by the blistering edge. That's going to be a detriment for the Zip sustainability, as he's able to utilize the cube combo break to break away before BBE's Temi can find the punishment of that wisp grab. Now with the Hardy ultimate still running through, BBE's Roiki, he is getting put under the pressure of the two players, both the Zip on the Hardy, finding the ISO fight, as otherwise we have BBE's Ivan managing to live and secure 1 kill with that pulse. Now trying to come in through, gets 1 hit of Blistering Edge, looking to put the pressure onto the isolated player of LXM, who is going to get that Zip ultimate to come on out, especially because the Temi ultimate is in full play. We're going to see the aggressive re-wisps coming on out as BBE, no question about it. This is a team that Salty ran back on through and are going to be able to pick apart the players of GG that had backs away, content to wait for the Temi ultimate to run its course, but that gave BBE the opportunity to go to the Soul Altar and sprint back into the fight.
I've been looking for the slaps, looking to close this out. Oh, CGS, get your hands off me. You're not slapping me. You're not taking me down. He's going to pop the Kylan ult. He is going to fight with his last breath, but Roy, he does not care. Just because you have the guard up doesn't mean you're not killable. GG will fall to BBE. And now BBE, a step in the right direction, just like 521. You're seeing their climb back up. 521 at 64 points. They're going to have to make it over that 70-point threshold, but they are still in contention with OUG and Wolves. 66.5 on OUG, 70.5 on Wolves. They right on the cusp. Only top 12 are going to make it through. EWG looks like they're going to get pushed out at least by minimum of Wolves, already tied at that 70.5. Now, to the right of the map, OUG, SS, and Rico and the King looking to chase down their bounty, which looks like DRG's Kakashi and Don Q on the store is going to be shot out, and OUG doesn't care. They want some action. They want to take this off spawn fight. DRG would rather not fight in this situation. Moonbane is going to come down. It makes sense, but wait a second. This Moonbane was used by DRG's Kakashi. They returned the favor. You want to fight us? We don't want to fight, but if we're going to fight, we're going to Moonbane you. OUG is going to be backing out right now. The King fading out with the material, popping at the last second, using the meteor as well in combination with that refresh of the material. But Donq gonna use his Temi to deny the pressure from OUG. Nice job from the Temi, able to stagger up the whole team, and now all the team is roasting them, but the Krumio is gonna keep them alive. SS is down to his last leg though, and DRG is gonna burst through. OUG a little bit overconfident, thinking that this team was there for the taking. Little did they know that DRG had a Moonbane in their pocket, and now the King trying to make it away, getting pushed into the Moonbane. He does use that F2 to dash out in the situation, but Donkey gonna get slapped by the zipping of OUG. Rico with his last ditch effort gonna put his hands onto Donq9, but the King, last one standing, gonna throw up the mix-up. Focus attack left.
The run back.
Wait, it's a salty run back, Moxie.
The Wolves are coming in for the third party. This is really tough for DRG because the Kurumi stayed behind to revive the Temi, and that leaves Don Queen way too isolated. Wolves with the F3 find the hit connection and now turn on to the last remaining player from OUG. SS getting caught right in the middle between the third party and the remaining players of DRG. We can see Wolves looking to try and figure out where the rest of the teammates have been. Will they find DRG's Kakashi? They spot one body. BBE also in the area, potentially coming on through for a fourth intrusion. As Wolves not really wanting to stick themselves into the zone, now spot out BBE and claps onto Ivan, who throws out the charged R&B on the fan, has to use the combo break. Fat Milk wanting to try and find a little bit of an engagement off of the charged R&B drop in of his own from the fan, and Wolves, seeing the difference in loot, going to be backing on off as we actually have JDG fighting in the middle of Sunlings against Powder in the zone. What is going on between these two teams?
Sunwing stuff. Poison Mushroom getting a hit left and right, but JDG's Tut able to have that Zyall down, trying to push Bauda into the mushroom area. Yaron desperately trying to put horizontals into Tut to slow him down, but you were saying earlier Zai's gonna be able to parry right this. You trying to make his way out. He's clanking over and over. Yaron with the flank again, but his health is ticking away. He's not able to survive, and Bauda will fall. Oh, Siphon teams falling victim to the more aggressive Zai composition off spawn, and JDG is gonna keep their momentum going again up to 6 kills. But we are going to the Rumble Yang. We are going to get X1 versus 521. 521 has a work cut out for them. They need to win this one. First Rumble Yang is so critical in a lobby of death. You don't want to come out with a Yang depletion. Pam's gonna take the sky. Hope for the RB, not able to get it. He's going to get staggered and drop down from Kylan left and right. Pampy has to be careful right now. Kylan also going to be invested. He has to be careful. Rolls into the Krumi ult. Nice job by the Krumi, recognizing the danger of the Kylan ultimate. Now, Zai has to bide his time. He is going to get juggled back and forth. Oh my god, he can't survive the situation. It's too much damage. X1's ZDI able to get the Zai very, very low and secure the kill with his ultimate.
Yeah, this is just cleanup at this point. 3 versus 1. Everyone up against that Karumi. The Skirmish with the portal is going to make it a little bit more dangerous. However, we are going to be headed over to look at TE versus KLA. Instead, CXC getting pressured by that Hardy ultimate, utilizes the combo breaker coming in through on that Kylan, turning the tables onto KLA. CXC with the jump LMB floats off of that longsword reset. They're able to find the kill onto CXC with the Hardy ultimate from 14, who's still going to provide that cube combo break for Watch to reposition with that longsword, put himself onto a pillar charge up. The Skirmish decide not to throw into the Skirmish because he was baiting KLA. 17 as even closer to come through with the charged vertical hits on that longsword. Tried to go for the uppercut extension, will not be able to find it because 17 has still had his cube combo breaker available. But 14 with a successful Dragon Slayer is going to clear the space with that Nes's connection, and KLA have to back on off and respect it. A great charge scale rush from Wash is going to set up the stagger to be able to lock in one of these players from KLA, going down so incredibly low into that stone farm off of the bow shot. He is going to go down, and now Wash with a second Kylan ultimate is trying to find the damage needed, but he's not going to be able to find the kill in time. And Raven, we go from an aggressive start of the lobby to an even aggressive mid of the lobby, because now we have 2 teams running around on Yang depletion from just the one portal. We have 4 teams currently afflicted with Yang depletion, and that is going to be additional teams forced to take fights to get that cleansed. Potentially, they even all revive at the same soul altar.
10, you see 10 souls all out there. BB's Ivan's going to find a kill on the AC's Jing Dong. Ivan with blistering, looking for the double charge, not able to get it. ASC's Moran is gonna go for a ride with the Takeda juggle. Roy Hehe keeping up the pressure, and Ivan's gonna secure the kill with the flamethrower of Takeda. ASC Zhao Wen cannot deal with the pressure. Now 5-2-1. Looking around in the soul form. I've seen multiple teams do this, Moxie, where even though they have the Yang depletion, they go around and they kind of shop for a team that they want to try to find a kill with. You can kind of tell the power level as you're going through. The problem with this, though, is what if you don't find anyone? Or what if the res is really, really far away? We are going to get X1 versus Ivan. I've been opening up with the triple hold to see where the vibes are at. They can send the stone form blistering edge. Hadio is going to be invested. Ivan does have that Timmy ult. All 3 players from BB do have ultimate ult, but LYD is going to get the sap parry. He isn't going to get damage, and I think he canceled a little bit too early, but doesn't matter, boy. He is going to get exploded immediately. Multiple teams are going to be jamming in. Wolves coming out of nowhere. V1's already going to be invested. X1, they thought they were going to be snowballing this out of control, but Wolves has another thing coming for them. LYD tries to pop in some cooldowns to make his team survive, but it's not going to matter. 5-1. Pampy is going to show up with the meteor, immediately popping that Zai ultimate, and it looks like Wolves, they're okay with this result because Pampy's going out here juggling XLY down the hill. But now Wolves debating on going back in, knowing that Zai's ultimate is down. Akame is going to be fighting back with Matari, but Wolves does not care. They don't mind. You don't want to help your Akame? That's fine. We are going to pick him off easily, and Wolves is going to come out with a ton of kills, and they're going to make it past the threshold. They are now in the top 12, going up to 77 points, passing EWG's 70.5.
Yeah, but that's still not exactly safe, because those teams that are pretty close to breaking to the top 12, the likes of TE, 521, and BBE, they've all taken to heart the championship round, Raven. BBE's on 10 kills, TE's on 7, 521's on 5. This is the most aggressive and successful we've seen these teams be all day, as KLACXE tries to come through with the Scale-Rush disengagement, gets stuck around the wall, does have that Hardy cube set up from QGG to reposition, but unfortunately for him, he has to put himself back into the zone damage to try to break away from his aggressors. Does manage to find one Vitalia off before the storm damage cuts the heal effectiveness, dropping all of those health soldiers so that he doesn't have to worry about losing that percentage before picking it right back up again. As now we're going to be seeing TE trailing on the heels of JDG, who take to the rooftops of the bridge over Celestra's Canyon. TE's looking to try and find that engagement first chunk of damage with that pole sword, commits the jab to R&B. They'll get parried for it. JDG now trying to come on through with a Zai ultimate, going to get third-partied by Wolves, who show up to the mix yet again, uninvited with that Viper V1, massively, absolutely just sending all of these teams in the area, absolutely running for the hills as they try to break a line of sight with all of the buildings and corners that Celestra provides. But that does mean that they're going to be late in rotating and eating all of this corruption damage. And now we're going to be seeing the Kylans with that Immortality Guard having the confidence to go back in and fight in the zone, as TE have absolutely no choice but to chase in desperation the ghosts of KLA in front of them. Not going to be able to find the kill, goes down to Yang depletion, because yet again Celeste just makes it so easy for these players to scale rush and kite out these fights.
Yeah, especially with Wu Chen and the Viper comms that you're really able to play hit and run here. Same thing with Hadi and zipping. Oh my gosh, this is such a pain chasing through all the movement options of that Celestia provides. Now Wolves, it looks like they're very intimidating because they got the triple purple armor, but little does this team know they got no ultimates online besides this Tetsu ult. But DRG rather play itself, doesn't want to play it safe, doesn't want to overcommit in this situation. Now, in the South, we have OUG salvaging their game, trying to make it to this end game, and this is not like any of the other games, Moxie. Everyone is going crazy. No one is holding anything back right now. Multiple teams had that Yang depletion, so everyone is still hunting it out, trying to find these scuff teams who are trying to res. Pampy is going to be falling to JDG's key. JDG's touch. He's been an absolute menace today. A juggernaut, a slayer, looking to find Yin, but Yin fading away, reacts back, throws the back fade away, R&B into the fade away parry. Valiant effort by the Kurumi. Unfortunately, no combo breaks. Akame is gonna get jumped, or this is Yin is gonna get juggled, and Kiki is going to close out Akame. 18 people left alive. So half the lobby just got deleted with that one Yang depletion situation. We are gonna get Wolves versus JDG. So Wolves on the hunt. Where's Wolves at as far as score? They did make it over the threshold, but we are only the players that see that they are able to make it to the threshold. Wolves probably very, very hungry. They know how close this is. They can't really ease up on the pressure, as Moxie pointed out. OUG is still hot on their heels. So is TE. And technically, with the Hail Mary play, BBE is putting themselves in striking range. If they keep up this momentum, if they close out this with 15 to 18 kills, they'll be around 58 points. And is that Susie?
You can get 35. You can get 35 points in one game if you get over 20 kills and kill score multiplier.
I feel like they need to go to 25 to believe, because
yeah.
A crazy pop-off game. That's, I mean,
yeah, but they have two more games. Well, technically they have one more game after this.
True. We got to focus on what's in front of us. So Moxie, we got to get this. We got to get this W on the board. We got to believe it doesn't matter if we're dead last. You fight all the way till the end, and 5-2-1 is still fighting. They still have a chance. Chip in the chair. As long as they're sitting down at the table, they can possibly make their hand work. OUG though to the north. We got Draco Storm running around. We have I believe X1 with the challenger. Searching for OUG, and OUG, they don't want any of this smoke. They're going to be making their way down south, hopefully finding a nice reset here. And with so much zone left open, Moxie, and 18 people left alive, it looks like the lobby is finally going to cool off with half the lobby dead by 11 minutes in the game.
It does look like we're going to have a little bit of a lull in action as X1 not really going to be finding anybody to go for. We did just see, as Raven pointed out, OUG kiting around this way. So X1, do you know that there's been a team that has been passing through? However, OUG with one blue armor still to their name until they go to visit the shop. I believe they just bought a third purple armor for their players, so they're not going to be running around with a blueberry anymore. But PvE absolutely stacked. 2 sets of legendary armor, no doubt many legendary weapons. This is how they were able to get a couple of those loot upgrades, winning against ASE inside this realm of Yang Roy Hihi. Getting that Kurumi Sava gives them all of the confidence to hold on and throw out that stone form from that portal. Goes for the Takeda ultimate activation, looking to just put the pressure onto ASU Xiaowen, who has gone incredibly low. Goes into his Kurumi V2 to start healing back up, gets pushed out of it by the opposing Cicadas Fury and shoves. However, the fire cleanse from that blistering edge because of that Kurumi ultimate means that Roy Hihi does not have to worry about losing any of the sustain. Now he's getting put under the pressure by 2 players from ASE. However, we see the Kurumi transfer the tether, so he gets the 20% damage reduction, and his real health bar barely moves because of this. Gets stuck inside that Wisp into the charged R&B first hit of that spear. However, so much focus was put on the Takeda, who just did not go down, that both Ivan and Fat Milk basically got an absolute free run of the entirety of the realm of Yang. I really hope that BBE MVP just to see the healing stats on Fat Milk, because my goodness, he is not expiring anytime soon. 100% in date right now. As we're going to be having a look at Wolves going potentially head-to-head with JDG. It's probably not going to be a full all-out fight, very much just vying over control of the spacing. Is, as Raven pointed out, even though we only have 18 players left alive, we still have an awful lot of space for all of these teams to be able to hide themselves away in, and a lot of that is because we saw timeouts inside the first realm of Yang, so a lot of those teams got knocked out early when we don't really see all of those teams going out of the lobby with full eliminations. Now with the Spirit Well, now we're going to see the Soul Jades. That's the Cloud Weaver tallied up for 1. DRG going to be showcasing Aurora Burst as every single team makes a play, revealing that trump card to try and control and cap out that Spirit Well.
PvE showing up to the Spirit Well. Hopefully Fat Milk does not expire and keeps fresh for his team. Wolves pop in the Kurumi circle. Oh, actually, Wolves not popping the DRG is going to pop the Kurumi circle in response to Wolves. Back to the action on the Spiral. X1 going to be duking out for JDG. JDG does not want to give this up. They're popping the cannons left and right. They're throwing the focus attacks, but X1 with the Dragon Roar pushing the issue. DRG is going to vest that Takeda ultimate. They're also pushing the issue. They don't want to back off. Tut does have his Eye ultimate up. Technically, the center isn't charged up right now. Every team's double checking the center right now, and we're seeing the chaos, the cannon shots coming out, the cavalry blooms cutting through the center from JDG. Boy, he's setting up for a scale rush into the center. Do they want to invest into this? They do have triple ultimate compared to the rest of the teams. No one else has ultimate, but on the outside, Wolves XEM with the F3 gonna get a big nuke on to what it looks like DRG. WX98 is gonna go down to ZK, down to 1 HP. Now Kakashi trying to back off right now with the fist, but he has nowhere to go. The fan pressure coming out from Wolves. The light attack stagger just too much for Kakashi to keep up against. But on the other side, Spiritwell, all of that action looks like it's dissolving, and people are leaving right now.
Zone moved away from it. No one has the buff.
I don't see anyone. I was about to say. Wait.
There is no way X1 go into the zone and cap it out. Not this late in the game. That corruption damage is going to be melting your health bars. We've seen it done in the past, but we're not going to see it again. It's just too easy to gatekeep the teams that do try to go for that sort of plays. But that means that, 180 seconds is going to pass and that Spiritwell is going to despawn with no one having picked it up. And as a result, Raven, we don't have any reason for full fighting to continue between all of these teams. No one is going to make the first play for engagement, especially with that Bane Scruff getting dropped in now. Everyone is just going to reposition and rotate so that they can prepare for the next.
Sure, I think this might be the first time that I've ever seen a Spiritwell not get looted. Like, normally we've seen it to the very end, the edge of zone pushing in, and one team like hard commits and grabs it. But this time, no one is getting the buff. Everyone challenged. Are we going to see this go down similarly moving forward? That the lobby realizes that whoever gets that buff, it's too much of an advantage, so everyone's going to contest for it, and then are we going to get more stalemates?
I mean, that's the third time. That's the third time I've seen that happen.
Third time you've seen a stalemate? I don't think I've ever watched a stalemate in trios. But third time's a charm. It's going to be a trend, I guess, for stalling out. I wonder with the new patch, with Hadi being nerfed, are they going to be able to stall out with it? Now, technically, that was the armor Spiritwell. This is the Spiritwell that has the buff. So I believe the teams will 100% commit.
Well, no, they both have buff.
They both have buff?
That was one of the changes that came for both the third and fourth. The Spiritwell have buff.
For this patch or the next patch?
This patch.
Oh. So BB is going to be able to take this buff. They are going to pop the triple ultimate now, where he is going to take to the races. Who is he going to choose? He's going to pop Wolves on the low ground. He's going to dive in onto Wu Chen immediately. Gold up's going to be used by ZK. He is going to pop the Wu Chen forward down. Doesn't want any part of this, and they're going to switch to the opposite end. Lucky for Wolves. Good port from the Wu Chen, not putting them in a bad position, but BBE does not care. We know the Wu Chen port is down. They are going to invest into this, but BBE has to be careful right now. They are going to get all in with the Viper ultimate, and with that being said, Roy he does have Phantom Step. He can dodge at the last second to iframe it, and it looks like the rest of the lobby has decided to go with BBE going on to Wolves. Nice job from Wolves though, sitting on the high ground, making it very, very hard for them to engage. But on the low ground, JDG does find XEM a little bit overextending, and he will fall. And on the high ground, X1 still holding it out. BBE with the white tiger buff, looking to pressure this. Not able to get it. 13 people left alive, and Tut with the cannon seems to be content. JDG, again, I keep saying like JDG. We just keep getting JDG in endgame, and they're up to 15 kills. They're really looking to compete with GG for this last bi-weekly to end the season.
Oh my goodness, that flamer damage from Roy He is doing so much work, melting Wolves' health bars, but also pushing them into X1's waiting arms, so that they don't put that pressure back onto BBE, who are holding onto all of their current ultimates with 3 sets of legendary weapons. And you can see from this massively zoomed out picture, everyone is removing themselves from the close proximity of BBE. No one wants to be around this team, given the fact that they're still running that White Tiger's prowess for the next 20 or so seconds. Once that buff runs out, then we might still see the involvement, especially when it comes to those ultimates coming on through. However, we've also got an Aurora Burst in play, as well as some of those really crucial soldiers that's going to make closing up the distance and pressuring these teams into using those ultimates early much harder as it is going to be X1's Aurora Burst that you can see going on off on the right side. BBE getting caught up between X1 with the Dragon Roar and the Aurora Burst, as well as JDG on the left side. But the cannon pressure from Roy He has been absolutely immense. Drops it for his Kurumi to be able to pick up so he can swap over to the Flamer, setting his Temi up for that first place position to come on through with the Dragon Lake Might on those halberds. X1 not able to hold their spacing with the Aurora Burst from all of the pressure that BBE are able to put out with the range, putting every single other team in this lobby onto the other side of the zone so that they can catch them all with the Flamer, all with these cannon shots, entirely uncontested, entirely unworried, and holding on to all of their ultimates for when the storm fully collapses. OUG now going to be starting to get a little bit more aggressive, getting hit into, however, by X1 with that Dragon Sword. SS having to utilize that F3, gets the Kurumi Tether so he can try and put the spacing onto those players a little bit closer to the end of the zone. Finally, for the first time, we see BBE actually worried enough to invest their ultimates. Tumultuous ultimate goes down, but they are controlling so much of the spacing and still forcing all of the other teams in this lobby away from them and into the open damage coming through from everybody left on this side that they've been kited into. So holding onto that Cicada ultimate as well. The cannon pressure going to be working to regenerate those ultimates extra speedily as Roy He with the grapples doesn't look for the engagement, waits, bides his time for the storm to collapse and push all of those players into him, into that Cicada V3. Raven, we're about to see so many ultimates pop off when this storm pushes these players in, pushes them directly into JDG with the Cloudweaver SS going so incredibly low.
We have 2 Zais left, 1 Takeda. Who's going to be coming out? Zyphon versus Siphon. OUG's SS is going to pop his F3, take to the skies. He wants to keep his health up for as long as possible. Hadialda is coming down, though. Cowboy Blue on a low ground for him, Xing before he with a flamethrower, shoving everyone into zone. He's absolutely barbecuing everyone. JDG's Kiki is going to fall. Roy He just flamethrowing everyone. Poison Mushrooms coming out, but Roy He shoving everyone into zone. The Takeda flamethrower just doing so much work, but OUG's Rico in mid-air is going to be able to survive and outlast everyone, yoinking away that first place finish. OUG was on the cusp, making their way up. We're going to have to see how the points go down. 70.5 was the top 12, but crazy ending. We're seeing all of today. Burn is king for these end games, Moxie. It's either the Rupture Gale, the Flamethrower, but whoever has these burning weapons is able to dictate these end games by putting on the pressure safely onto these other teams, setting them off to the side. We're seeing JDG, though. I thought GG was going to claim this day first into zone over and over, and especially even in team fights, you're able to play these terrains a lot better than Siphon. Siphon wants to sit on the flat ground and fight you toe to toe, while you can do some very cheeky things like shoving and pushing supports away from their team so they cannot help. Now off spawn, looks like everyone has switched up. They don't just dive in immediately. They try to set up and have some gear, but Pampy is going to get dove on by Bauda. Bauda on the cusp right now. They need to have a good game right here. Pampy needs to have a huge game for his team. Unfortunately, he's going the other way. Year-round, he's going to keep up the pressure. Pampy going to fade back, try to assist his teammates right now. 1 hold 2, looking for the focus tag, not able to get it, but now Pampy going to go with the reset right now because another team is going to be showing up, and it's OUG onto 5-2-1. LNB hold RMB by Shinyu. He is going to chop down Akame, and they're going to make their work all the way to Bauda right now. Actually, not Bauda yet. 5-2-1 still on the cusp. Shinyu trying to build up his ultimate before he engages onto Bauda as well. You want to really leverage that ult advantage by taking early fights, but now Bauda gonna re-engage onto OUG. Both of these teams are on the cusp. They need to secure their way into this 4th bi-weekly. App's going to be invested by both the Kylan's LNB. Hold Army again by Shinyu. He is just going to continue releasing. Not going to even try to make it. A parry is going to come out onto the king, but ultimately come out from Shinyu. This is the glory of taking that first fight. You're able to get that ult first. OUG's SS is going to pick up the first kill. Now Bauda is going to be getting cleaned up. Can you build his ultimate in time? Shinyu's guard is going to get proc, but V1 is going to be invested. Jinyu busting out the slashes, keeping up the pressure. SS is going to secure the kill onto you, and Bauda is going to fall to OUG, and OUG is going up to 5 kills, 82.5, just a little bit more to get into that top 12.
Yep, just a half a point, and they're going to be within that top 12. TE and KLA now going head-to-head. Forbidden Seal has been activated, so both of those teams going to be kiting away. However, since the Temi ultimate had already landed on the ground, it is still going to be sticking around even with the no ult zone in play. 14 going incredibly low. Wash with those nunchucks, having to be careful because Wolves, having spotted that Forbidden Seal, know that there's a fight going on and are coming through to third party with the Tessa Viper and Wuchen. They're going to be able to jump onto a very easy to kill KLA 17 as he was missing so many of those resources that he had to put into dealing with the other fight that he had previously taken, as Wolves understanding how unfortunate their position is currently, incredibly precarious, having to go for all of the kills they possibly can, as not only are they contesting FPX, they're also having to deal with potential contests coming on through from OUG and also TE, who are within catching distance as well, so they need a pop-off game to guarantee that they make it into this bi-weekly finals, and they're going to be starting by getting incredibly aggressive, looking for fights that have already happened, coming in for those third-party last couple of hits of finish, and we are going to be seeing them now trying to jump onto BBE, who had looked to find the exact same style of engagement on this particular fight. XCM going incredibly low because of the charged RMB on that fan, catching him as he falls from the second story, has to pro in that F3 of his ability to buy himself the zoning capability of breaking away from these players who saw him going incredibly low, looking to lock him down. He's going to be able to come in with that Viper V1. ASC going to be prematurely dropping the Kurumi ultimate to make sure that they're covered if the stun does indeed go through. Having the confidence to hold themselves aggressively in the fight, they'll be able to take down Wolves' Nike HQ. So the Tessa has been removed, but crucially the Wuchen has not. Wolves with the port will be able to disengage and potentially re-engage back in, considering BBE has now moved back in for the kill against ASC. Zhao with a huge Dragon Slayers, but here comes the Tessa ultimate coming on out as Wolves coming back on the top of that minimap, looking to set themselves back up into this fight, wanting these kills, wanting to secure that top 12 finish.
BB's Ivan is getting beaten by Wolves right now, but nice Tessa ultimate come out. I've been able to get enough space to pop his ultimate now. Now Wolves reversing the card, tough situation right now, but low HP. We've seen this before. Viper able to get the stun off, but because of no hit points, the stagger or the peel is going to come down by ZK. Gonna call out Ivan, rolls up and parries the one charge. ASC though, trying to kite, trying to get out of here, but Wolves wants to secure their position, wants to make sure that OUG cannot pass them and possibly force them out. I mean, TE also on the cusp. They need a little bit of momentum to going off. Now, there is a change within the lobby that they do not see each other's names. So none of these teams on the cusp, OUG, Bauda, Wolves, and TE can feel very comfortable, that they feel very secure. They have to play their A game all the way until the very end and hold their breath to make sure that they've made it to finals. Now on the top end, JDG not really picking up a lot of kills off spawn, but X1 keeping up with the momentum. They can, if X1 has another big game like they did before, being led by LYD, can they find themselves 20 plus points to secure another top 3 finish? Remember, it's not just for anything. Even though they've qualified past the top 12, they do take a percentage of these points into grand finals, on top of the fact that all these guys are competitors and they want to have the most perfect game as possible. Now transitioning into the first realm of the game, from this early game into the mid game, we're seeing the team slow down. All the off spawn fights have been settled in. We're seeing Wolves coming out on top with 8 kills with the Viper composition, very, very strong off spawn, but now it's settling down. Now that the Yang teams are setting up to go in, we're seeing the usual suspects setting up to go in: JDG, X1, KLA, Bauda, all setting up with their scaling compositions to come in. Will we see 5-2-1 come in? They need to have a massive game right here. 23 points? 23 points is possible from 5-2-1.
That's doable. But they're going to need to win a realm of Yang. they need to win that realm of Yang, because otherwise it all falls apart. This is where it's decided. If they win the realm of Yang and start scaling on through, they're in a really good position to carry that momentum forward. If they lose the realm of Yang and they get hit by Yang depletion, every single team in this lobby is going to be chasing after them because their hand is going to be forced. They're going to have to all in and come through with a fight. Something else that we're also going to be seeing, which is very much just becoming a permanent fixture of Fedora, is that JDG have been able to get up to Arcadia and get themselves the red Vulpine Essence Soul Jade. So that is going to be going on to Tutik. So that is going to be something to watch out for if they put themselves into a Yang fight. That's going to be attached to their Zai, who is a little bit squishy, given that in your ultimate, even with the gold frames, you do not get any damage reduction for it, which is one of the reasons that Zai and Karumi work so incredibly well together, as is the reason why Matari works so incredibly well with Zai, because all of the siphon that you get when that Matari ultimate is in progress, as we're going to be seeing the realm of Yangs coming on through. OUG understanding how close they are to making top 12, understanding that every kill is needed, going to be instantly putting themselves through. We have a GG going up against JDG, but the one that we are going to be following is incredibly important for OUG to come through on top from. Jinyu goes into this guy trying to come through with the drop down charge at RMB on that spear, has to utilize the combo break. We can hear the pulse going through onto that stone from Samod's combo break has also already been forced from the Sand Siphon composition. Jinyu now with that Kylan V2 looks to set the dashes up. Karumi has already early on invested that armor circle. So far, no Tumulch ultimate has been dropped on through, however, as it does look like they're going to be satisfied with just utilizing that Karumi to live through all of the burst damage, holding on to the Temi ultimate so that the Hardy later on in the game does not get to take advantage of the freedom of the aerial space to keep up putting the pressure onto X1. SS still not able to find the opening that he's looking for, but now that the Temi ultimate has run its course and the walls have given up, now the Hardy can properly find himself in the clear and open skies, getting the pressure, getting to absolutely disrupt everything that X1 are wanting to do, staggering these players so that both the Zip and the Kylan can follow through. An OUG textbook way of playing, getting to come on through and find the win necessary, which I'm pretty sure secures them past FPX's game score and now puts them up against Wolves in terms of who's going to be able to claim those last couple of spots.
Yeah. Big clutch up from OUG. You're seeing Jinyu using that new spear. Just so oppressive. And with good gold combo break, man, when you get that spear at close range, the one weakness the spear had, it had no focus attack. You're just able to oppress people with those light attacks. But we're to get TE versus ASE. Looks like Yang depletion is going to be on TE. Remember, TE is one of the teams on the cusp at 70.5. They need to find this kill onto ASC's Xiaowen. But Xiaowen is going to catapult himself to safety. Can TE's Wash see exactly where he went? You go a mile away with this one. Oh my goodness. This is one of the best ones to go off. And Wash guesses perfectly. He sees him. Oh, he does have a bounty on him. Xiaowen trying his best to get out of here. On the Matari, F2 is going to be invested, dashing out of here. He's waiting for his teammates to come in. It looks like Wolves, though, is going to lose Zem, but going over to Imperial, to the center, Jinyu with the Brimlings leading his team to hopefully more kills. They need to secure more points so they can feel comfortable going into this last leg. Balda's peak, taking a ton of damage. Hadi ult is not going to be canceled. He's going to keep up the pressure. Jinyu as well, going to keep up the pressure as well. They're all in, baby, versus, I believe, this Draco Storm on the side? No, it's not Draco, it's White Sakura. They are glowing right now, but inside the pod, Peak holding his ground. One charge, parry, into the double charge, into the cube, out of there. He doesn't want to be in the bowl anymore with Jinyu. Jinyu wants to get back onto the zipping, securing the support kill, but he's unable to figure out where that zipping went, dropping down, backing up his teammate, looking for the flank, but you doing a good job with the pulse sword dash and the parry, but good combo break from Shinyu, using it for his teammate. You does go for the parry again, back to back, forcing him to use his combo break, and now the king comes out of nowhere with the parry as the chase down onto you is going down. Yeah, you're around under a ton of pressure. Nice fake baiting at the parry, gets the stagger right now. Now X1 is going to be joining into the party. Chaos is breaking out in Imperium. OUG's SS down to his last hit. Now they do have a brilliance buff. They do have another buff to go, so they can all in this situation, just looking for more kills right now. But Yu is doing a good job of getting out of dodge. He gets the white armor swap. Now Cube is going to be coming down for OUG. Yu is not making it easy for them. He is bobbing, weaving, making it around, uses the gold F, knocks everyone off of him. He's going to double charge relief, double tap dodge. He does grab the soul boom, going back to the half health. Temiel's going to be invested by another team, and now OUG out of nowhere is going to get deleted, not able to pick up the kill onto Yu. That has to be frustrating for OUG.
I mean, what isn't frustrating though is that the kills that they were able to get, just one shy of double digits, has been enough to surpass FPX's base score of 85.7. So OUG are currently in the top 12. That being said, 521 starting to find that footing, coming through with a couple of kills. TE unfortunately still having one of their players, and the hyper carry at that in the Zai, still afflicted with Yang depletion, is going to make it very awkward for them to try and find the game that they've been looking for to confirm a top 12 finish, as 521's Pampy uses that lion statue to break LOS from the Viper V1. Still has a couple of Furin shoves available to him as well. Finds the isolated fight, tries to turn it into a 2 versus 1 with his Karumi to back him up, as Ivan is going to get hit into with a Furin shove, looking to hold him in position for the Karumi to catch up, trying to come through, shows that Shaolin Soul Jade attached to that spear, and Ivan is going to get caught out by it. 521 will be able to find another of those kills, but they have to be careful that they don't leave the other player, that Temi, a little bit too far behind, because we do see that BPE's other player, Roy He is still going to be around, has to utilize that Tessa combo breaker, turns it into a 1 versus 3, but is still going to go down. And 521, 3 kills, a little bit away, but definitely still doable, especially if they're able to find these last couple of players from the side of TE. One with Yang depletion, one entirely eliminated, leaving just the Karumi to try and play safe.
OUG, like you said, Moxie, they finally made it up the cusp, up to 9 kills. Now they just gotta tap in. I'm sure they did an estimation of just how many points was probably going to be the cutoff. Now, you can never feel too comfortable in this situation. Making it to the finals is definitely the last bit of practice you want going into the true NBPL finals. Fourth bi-weekly finals is on the line. DRG's Don Q is going to get Tesla ulted, but he finds a way to weave. Oh my god, we're sliding, we're dodging the pistol shots. He makes it to the corner, his last stand. He cannot live though. Now we are going to get KLA versus OUG, a classic battle amongst these top teams. Shinyu on the Kylan, we were watching him earlier. Can he keep the train going for his team? Out of nowhere, QGG is going to drop down with the flank. Nice fan liftoff, forcing out the combo break, and now CXZ on the Temi with the cavalry balloon, forcing out the cube, and now Shinyu not hesitating, gonna pop his island ultimate, putting Karumi into the blender. Shinyu is getting peeled off by the Takeda, though. They're trying to get his guard to pop. They do get it. The Cavalry Balloon's coming out. KLA does not care. They are going to 100s to 0 him within that Temi ultimate. My man was juggled to the moon. Both gold elves are going to be burned. Can his team follow up with it? They cannot. OUG's the king is going to fall. KLA's focus fire is just too good. Merciless is coming down. OUG's SS against the corner. He can stall this out. 1 minute and 4 seconds on the Hadial. He's taking to the skies. He's popping the heels. Can he find the longest stall out of NBPL history? 1 minute on the clock with 3 players left alive. Or will he find a 1v3? All things are possible. He's going to get juggled in midair. Gold F's going to be invested, circling around, jumping Ariel's trying to deny the stacker. He tries to land on the top of the pillar, not able to get a tap dodge roll. Now he's against the corner. Merciless is going to come out, but he's going to cube out of that situation. Nice stacker going to come out. Scale Rush coming out, making his way to the side, going back to the sky, jumping LB, dodging again. Oh, 20 seconds left. Cowboy Bloom though, landing onto the ground. Tap dodge into the F. Wait a second. 1 minute stall. No, the uppercut's going to come out, and SS will fall. Valiant effort from my man. 15 seconds left alive. I think if he hugged the pillar, he did have to stall out there.
Yeah, he was trying, like, you could see when he was trying to, like, land on the pillar, he wanted to go for the drop down off the pillar into the Scale Rush, but unfortunately a couple of times just gets clipped by the catch of the uppercut on those dual blades. We have to talk, though, about CXZ's calf blooming them into the Fury shoves from QCG. That is not easy to set up at all. That was absolute art coming through from KLA. Just juggle after juggle after juggle. 100-0. Calf Bloom into Takeda Fury shoves into the semi-ultimate. Drop and isolation, and there was absolutely nothing that could be done to peel that poor Kylan, who essentially just had to take his hands off the keyboard. As we are going to be having a look and seeing which teams have currently been hit with Yang depletion, some a little bit more impactful in the long terms than others. JDG having lost their realm of Yang fight, they're not going to be too dissatisfied. They're already in second position for all of the teams. They know that they're through into the bi-weekly finals. OUG, on the other hand, going to be feeling a little bit more precarious in their positioning. They are on 87 points. They have been able to push FPX out, but TE were able to get their hands on a couple of rebuff charms. It did cost their Kurumi. However, she was able to buy back both the Matari and the Zai, and 521 are also still up and alive in this lobby. So OUG not going to be able to get complacent, especially because if we do see all of these teams going for the Flames Breath again, having that zip instead of the Kurumi could be problematic when we go to those endgame situations. There's a JDG going to be forcing a team into throwing in that Wu Chen teleport. OUG drawn in by all of the ultimates popping on off around them, have an understanding that there has been a fight, that there has been ultimates forced. Unfortunately for them, they show up a little bit late, Raven, so they don't actually know which teams have invested ultimates and which teams still have theirs.
Not gonna matter because OUG, the train is going. Shinyu just gonna be flying in. Kylan's gonna be invested already, just diving in, forcing out a response from the zipping. Zai is trying to hold her ultimate. She doesn't want to pop it yet. She wants to pop her ultimate after the Kylan ult is over, but she might be forced to if she doesn't use it to escape. But multiple Draco Storm is going to engage. You see in the top right, both KLA, GG, and X1 all have Draco Storm. OUG has their workout cut up for them if they're going to get a kill here. Multiple teams will be joining into the party right now. Shinyu desperately trying to secure this kill onto Tut. LNB into jump RMB is going to secure it, but there's only one soul blue for one of them, and X1 is going to be joining to the party. That flame breath just doing so much damage. The king gets roasted alive. Temi ult's going to be invested as well, but it's not for OUG. It's KLA coming in with the third party. Shinyu with the double hole, just letting SS get out of here. I believe SS was the one able to get that soul bloom. So Shinyu with the noble sacrifice, allowing his teammate to back off.
No, they both didn't.
Oh, they both
Hadi's portrait is still orange. He's still got Yang depletion.
Hadi did not make it out then. Well, tough break. Someone did yoink it. I saw both.
It was the king, and then the king died. Oh no, the Temi Wisp! Oh, as he gets spotted out, it doesn't matter. Even if he'd been able to cleanse the Yang depletion, he would have gone down on the spot. So X1 just being able to track him down and come in with that Temi Wisp. OUG, though, can breathe a little bit of a higher sigh of relief, given that 521 have been knocked out of this lobby, and TE very far behind in terms of that loot, haven't been able to win themselves a realm of Yang, haven't been able to find themselves isolated fights, haven't been able to even get their hands onto one of those spirit wells, so they are going to have to play their absolute lives, Raven, and play unspotted. They cannot get detected by all of the rest of these teams in the lobby because that is an easy target. As KLA's QGG, my friend, the Spirit Well might block ranged projectiles from players around you on the outside of the dome. Unfortunately, it does not block Moonbin AoE Splash.
Oh, KLA QGG, look how many kills they have. They're up to 17 kills. They're going to skyrocket up top. And if they clear out the rest of the lobby, there's a chance they make it in the top 3. I believe what is 1.2 multiplied that bad? 4 point plus 4, 8, 28. Can we go? Yeah, we can possibly move close to at least 40 points, but they're going to have to finish off everyone. Now QGG with the erudition, finding Washout. F3 going to be invested by the Zai of Wash, trying to get out of here, but QGG, oh, wait a second, fighting back. We're not just going out like that. Wash is letting them know, you can throw blues into me and we're going to be throwing out these parries, but it's not going to matter because the Cavalry Bloom is just going to juggle him 100-0. Now Ballista is going to be in play here. No one is on top of it. Wolves sitting on the corner. Does Wolves... Well, it's Tessa's last person standing. And they are going to get spotted out due to the blue buff from the Chopper's eruditions to be coming down. But NHQ with his team's hope alive. They don't know exactly where they are on the leaderboard. We do know that they're safe, but not for NHQ. He is not safe. CXZ, the absolute menace with this Cavalry Bloom, is going to find another kill. And KLA having a monster game, up to 19 kills with 11 players alive. 3 minus 11. 8 more kills possible. They can go up to 25, 26 kills. It's possible. They are going against this stacked X1 kill, or X1 team, Moxie.
They still have Mystic Might, though, for the next 50 seconds. Moonbane is gonna come through, and X1 is gonna get caught out by both hits of it. ZDI alive because of that Kurumi 20% damage reduction when Tether is active. XLY making sure as well with the Flame of the KLA. Do not commit and capitalize on X1 getting caught out by that AoE splash coming on through. Who is going to be able to walk away with the kills? TE still have one of their players alive, but unfortunately for them, even if they do get the kill score multiplier, there's going to take more than a couple of kills for them to be able to bypass into the top 12 in this lobby. As we're going to have a look and see a little bit of a lull coming on through. The next Spirit Well is going to be spawning on up. Do these teams make an aggressive play forward, or do they try and survive the aftermath? It is going to be Mystic Might yet again, even though it isn't the same power level as something like White Tigers. It is still that Siren's Call of the double ultimate cycle, and you can see that KLA immediately want it on possession. QGG with that focus light also trying to buy spacing for his players to come through with the Camp Flame. We get to see focus light find the connection, but QGG is going to have to be incredibly careful about how he holds his position. The Overcomer as well. KLA absolutely stacked when it comes to the Soul Jade. 17S buying the space of that dome with Merciless Havoc, and KLA having moved into position with that Cicada already within distance of capitalizing onto X1. They didn't have to invest the Cicada ultimate to lock the Spirit Well down. The Soul Jades did that for them, and now they have all of these Fury shots to put against these players who had positioned away from the Spirit Well in the hopes of living the aftermath of KLA claiming it, and unironically have put themselves into the worst possible position now that QGG have their second cycle of ultimates active. QGG though is getting focused on by everybody in this lobby, as everyone understands that this Takeda has to get pressured and has to get pressured now. He's going to live because of his Kurumi getting the peel for him, as CXE with that greatsword is also going to be able to cover for him. Stanchion into Merciless coming on out. No one can bypass the strength of Soul Jades that KLA have access to, and instead turn their focus onto the other teams in the area, hoping that by putting someone else low, when KLA recover and reset, they turn onto those teams instead.
KLA does not want to turn. They want to take down this other Siphon team. They do have triple ultimate, and they're trying to get Bowda to get involved, but Bowda's happy not to do any of the heavy lifting right now. QGG is like, wait a second, Bowda, you better get active right now. We're taking this horsey straight down the center. He threatens them with the overcomer, and now they finally bait out X1's Kurumio. They bait out a response, but they have to be careful right now. X1 is not happy with the amount of grief coming away from KLA. They're busting out the flamethrower. QGG has to be careful right now. He's going to be popping the ultimate. Kurumio ult's going to be going down, and now Bowda is going to be looking in at this, licking their lips, ready to jump in, ready to yoink the kills. But first, KLA, it has some unfinished business with X1 with no more ultimates left for them. They are going to fall. Temio is going to be going down. X1 cannot survive the onslaught, the consistent fixed ultimates coming out from KLA. And now KLA with their last armor bit, it looks like Bowda, did they activate? Yeah, Bowda activated, looking to clean up the last couple kills from X1, leaving KLA some breathing room. But Yu is taking a lot of damage. He has to be careful right now, but it looks like first peek on the zipping is going to pop that V1. Yu's going to hold his ultimate till the last second. I believe Bowda should have seen who popped ultimate right now. I guess they're assuming that KLA still has one more ult on the deck, but Peak is getting juggled by the Merciless. Merciless Havoc doing so much work on the high ground. Yu's forced to pop his ultimate, but KLA's CXZ, that Cavalry Bloom, will be put in the dirt. Bowda's Yu down to no ultimate. So, and on the low ground, X1 is going to pop his Takeda ult, and we're going to get, for the last game of the bi-weekly series, Trios, X1 versus Bowda.
Yeah, X1 versus Bowda. It is going to be a straight free versus free. XOY still with free Fury shoves to his name. Is going to use one, just pushing Bowda away from the cliffside to make sure that X1 can secure that high ground, and looks to pressure these players from Bowda all the way off of that cliff into that zone damage, making sure that the Kylan V2 is not going to be able to connect onto them. Small ultimate so they can focus Bowda's Yu down. They do not want to let that Kylan live. If we go to the full heal off, turning onto Bowda's Yuran, who was isolated inside that Tumult ultimate as well. So no more Hattie. Now they just have to put the pressure on to Yu, trying to find the kill to stick onto this Kylan. The Furin Shove's still going to be up and available for XLY. All of this pressure from the charged verticals on this fan, looking to lock Peak away from the Kylan so that the F sustainability cannot catch him when he's on the cliffside. However, we do see that one of those Fs does manage to connect onto the Kylan, but the juggle from the Temi into the Furin Shove follow-up connection from XOY. Even though he got parried, he was still able to send the Furin Shove, pushing the Kylan into that storm damage, forcing the V2 to come through. But unfortunately for X1, it is on the side of a cliff, and they're having to dodge all of the dashes that Yu sends to make sure that they do not get baseball bat home ran into that corruption damage. With so much good mechanical movement, they're going to be able to keep themselves out of the hands and dashes of the Kylan V2. And X1 in the free versus free walk away on top, the last team standing, coming on out of game number 6.
Yeah, nice job.